It's a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are so.
April in the ATL continues on a gorgeous Saturday night for baseball. 30 games in 30 days continues tonight with the St. Louis Cardinals in town here for the middle game of a three-game series at Turner Field. It's a very special night for us at Fox, for one of our favorites is joining us in the booth tonight, a man that won 113 games as a Brave and, more importantly, hit 3 home runs. That's right, Tim Hudson joins us in our broadcast booth tonight for our game against the Redbirds. Tim, great to have you in the booth. Welcome.
Hey, it's good to be here, guys.
Should be a lot of fun as the Braves and Cardinals play. Atlanta 0-3 to start the year. Partner Joe Simpson, the silver lining. Starting pitching's been pretty good.
It's been really good, Chip. In fact, when you look at it across the board between Tehran, Norris, and Whistler, Braves could be 3-0. They pitched deep into the ball game. They gave their team a chance to win. Just didn't turn their way at the end of the ball game. But overall, it's been very good. And tonight, Tim, Julio Tehran makes his second start. I was curious about your thoughts on his first outing.
Well, I thought he threw the ball really well. I really love how he established the fastball inside. I know his strike percentage was close to 60%. And, I think it's something that later on in the game will definitely play into his game for sure, establishing that fastball.
Tim Hudson sounds like he's been doing this for years. He's a rookie in the booth tonight. Can't wait to get his insights for the ball game. And when we come back, we'll talk about Julio's keys for success tonight against the Redbirds.
Presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Another beautiful brisk night for baseball at Turner Field. The Braves and Cardinals meet for the second time tonight. Julio Teheran takes the ball for the Braves. As Joe and Tim mentioned a moment ago, Julio deserved a better fate on opening day. But fellas, the first pitch in a sequence, perhaps the most important for the Braves right-hander tonight.
It is. I think Julio, if he can come out and establish his fastball early on, and especially just mix it in and out. I know he does a great job of establishing it inside. I like just how he's been on the corners the whole first time through the lineup. I think that's key.
I like the fact, too, that after kind of a rough first inning of the new season, he settled in and was very efficient, too. He didn't waste a whole lot of pitches and seemed to breeze through his remaining innings.
And here are the numbers from Julio's start against the Washington Nationals here in Atlanta on opening day. As Tim mentioned, 60% or thereabouts first pitch strike percentage. Sure, you'd like to see that a little higher, and that's a big key for Julio, something he's been wanting to work on this spring.
Yeah, it is. I think he's a guy that he lives with his fastball. I think if he can establish that fastball, especially the first time through the lineup, even though the percentage wasn't as high as he'd like, they were just off the edge. They were just missing with some, and I think I love watching him going out there and compete. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
You feeling lucky tonight?
Always.
Time to get a win. Braves need one. They're 0-3. Carlos Martinez pitching for the Cardinals. Perfect night for baseball. Lineups and first pitch coming right up. In Atlanta, the wind is blowing straight in on a chilly night here at Turner Field, and hopefully the Braves can keep the Cardinals in the ballpark. They hit 4 homers last night, 3 of them pinch hit homers, a new major league record for a single game, and a couple of those sluggers are in there for Mike Matheny tonight. Hazelbaker had a big day. Jeremy Hazelbaker, one of those pinch hit homers. He's batting second in front of Matt Holliday, pride of Monroe, Georgia. Brandon Moss is their first baseman today for the Cardinals. Carlos Martinez, a flamethrower, is on the mound facing Julio Teheran, who's making his second start of the year.
Julio's 25 years old, 6'2", 205 pounds, out of Cartagena, Colombia. His numbers against the Cardinals, very good. A 1.89 ERA in 3 starts, and one of those was at the end of last season when he went 6 innings of 5-hit shutout ball, walked 1, struck out 6. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Number 1, an easy first. He threw 31 pitches in the first inning against Washington and gave up a homer to Bryce Harper. So try to get through that first inning a little more economically, be strong going into the middle innings, and go green. He's very ecologically sound, so after giving up 2 homers in the first game, keep it in the green and not in the blue. That's the plan.
I like that plan. You see the weather. Tim, what are the challenges for a starting pitcher pitching in dry, cool, breezy conditions like this?
Well, obviously the grip on the baseball is something that could be challenging anytime it's cool and a little breezy. You don't have a little moisture on your hands, and you just try to get that good grip on the ball. You can locate that fastball in and out.
It's interesting out in San Francisco a year ago, 2 years ago, Julio had a really bad game, and he talked about the lack of humidity and how slick the baseball was because of the breeze at AT&T Park.
Yeah, it can be challenging sometimes for sure.
So Matt Carpenter ready to go for the Cardinals. He was 1 for 5 in the lid lifter here last night. And Julio's first of the night is right there for a called strike. Mike Winters has the plate in game 2 of the series. Carpenter 2 for 16 for the Cardinals to start the year. And bounces one to Freeman at first. There's a good start. Julio keeps it green. It's Carpenter to roll out to the right side. Defense will again be a key for the Braves tonight. It has been a little shaky at times in the first 3 games of the year. Kelly Johnson gets the start in left for the Braves. Drew Stubbs in center for Ender Inciarte. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Jace Peterson's back in there at second base, and AJ is behind the plate. And here is Jeremy Hazelbaker, the pride of Ball State. 7 long minor league seasons before he got a chance to make it to the show, and he's already hit a couple of big league homers. We were talking last night, Tim. We've seen a lot of major league games. Never have we seen a game in the history of our sport where there were 3 pinch hit homers.
Yeah, that's interesting. It was they came up last night, and Matheny pushed the right buttons in some critical times, and it happens once in a while, I guess.
How about Joe last night for a team that's 1-3? Well, Mike Matheny's the leader for manager of the year. Right. After those 3 great calls. And Hazelbaker getting the start in center tonight for the Cardinals. They really like their bench. A lot more thump, Mike Matheny says. They showed it last night. And popped back our way out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Pretty good change up there from Julio. Had him off stride. Left it up a little, though.
Just missed. Matt Holliday waits on deck. He's a Braves killer in this ballpark. You'd like to face him with the bases empty. And a bouncing ball out of play. Tim, did you have first inning trouble that you remember? Was that an issue for you like it was from time to time with Tommy Glavine?
From time to time it could be an issue. It was one of those things where if I could get through the first inning or the first 4 or 5 hitters of a game, you can settle in, get that edge knocked off of your game a little bit, and once you're able to settle in and get into a groove there, and then able to flip that lineup over a time or 2 and start cruising.
And Julio walked Hazelbaker, 1 on 1 out, and Matt Holliday is the batter.
Well, the keys for me was always just establishing my fastball and first pitch strikes early in the game, especially the first time through the lineup. If I was able to do that, then the game usually seemed to work out for me.
Plus, first time through the lineup, you haven't really shown any of your other secondary pitches that much to guys, and can use that a little more effectively next time through.
And that's true.
Matt Holliday had a couple of doubles last night. What's it like pitching to this guy?
Well, it's not fun sometimes, especially when he's locked in. He's a big, imposing guy in the box, and it seems like he's just wanting to crush everything that you throw. And you definitely have to locate the ball with him. You have to keep him honest inside, elevate. Change his eye level once in a while, and and just stay on the corners. You know, he's that guy that can hurt you.
Hazelbaker can run. He is running, and that's driven towards center. Stubbs drifts back. He's got plenty of room. The Braves tried to deke Hazelbaker at second, but he had none of that. He's back at first, and now with 2 out.
Well, like you said, Chip, it's blowing straight in. That ball might have been held up a little bit. Here's Hazelbaker trying to find the ball, and had time to get back. Jose Oquendo, the normal third base coach, is on the shelf with a knee injury that he's recovering from. They've had to do some shuffling of their staff. Bill Miller now is at first base.
And a ground ball by Moss is out of play for a strike.
And Chris Maloney has moved from first to third until Jose comes back.
Moss out of Monroe, Georgia. 20 homer man the last 3 years. Well-traveled big league player. And gave the Cardinals some much needed insurance when Matt Adams got hurt last year. Moss 1 for 8 so far on the year. And batting cleanup tonight. The 0-2. It's the inside corner. Good try.
That was a nice pitch.
Julio's always pitched well against the Cardinals. 1-1 record, sub-2 ERA in 3 starts. And he missed the same spot. Now it's even 2-2.
He did this a little bit early on against the Nationals, where he would get ahead in the count and then seem to go to a deep count before he was able to get the out. And that's one of the 4 keys I was talking about, is try to be a little more efficient this inning. And it would be nice to get an out right here and get out of it.
Runner goes. Pitch low and inside. AJ dropped it. No chance to get Hazelbaker, who had an excellent jump. So it's a steal for the Cardinals center fielder, and he's in scoring position with a full count coming from Moss.
Yeah, Joe, ideally you'd love to get the guys out in 3 pitches or less. You know, that can keep your pitch count down, and you know, at the very least make them put it in play, and you let your guys behind you, make some plays for you.
So Julio had Moss 0-2. Now it's 3-2. Shift on, pitch, and he lost him. So 2 walks in the inning, and the Cardinals have 2 out trouble, and Stephen Piscotty's coming up, and he was one of the best hitters in situations like this last season. A .393 average with runners in scoring position.
It's not so much the fatigue that he might feel in the first inning. He's fresh tonight. He's well rested. It's just how much does it shorten you on the backside? You know, does he, when you get to the 5th and 6th inning, maybe somehow, some way it cuts short your outing.
And another thing is, these hitters, the more pitches they see from you, you looking at the 3rd and 4th at bat, they may have seen 20 pitches from you. If you have some long at bats with certain guys, especially the middle order guys, you want to try to limit as few pitches as those guys as you can.
Seems to be missing in the same spot. I missed inside on Moss, trying to keep him from getting his arms extended, but missed badly there to the left-handed batter's box. He made a move last year, Tim. He's way over on the first base side of the pitching rubber.
I see that. Yeah, I was a guy that I pitched from the middle or towards the first base side of the rubber, and the reason I would do that is, you know, I'd be able to pitch inside more effectively to left-handed hitters.
Better angle.
Well, it's just easier to get to that opposite arm side fastball, to command that side of the plate with your fastball, than it is if you were, you know, from the extreme third base side of the rubber.
And lefties have historically given Julio a little more trouble than the righties, especially with the long ball. 20 of the last 29 homers Julio has allowed have been to left-handed batters. Got a righty up there now in Piscotty, and a 2-2 count. Pitch number 22.
Here's those splits. Career numbers. Almost 2-1 lefties versus right-handed.
It'd be interesting to see what his numbers were since he's moved over to the first base side, just to see if how they've improved.
Well, he finished with a flourish last year. He had a real good last 6 weeks.
There's that spot again, and another deep count. Yadier Molina waits on deck. The Braves want to see him in the second. Runners go. Ball 4. 3 first-inning walks. And they're loaded for Molina. And you can see Julio right to the mouth, try to get some moisture on that hand. Don't know if the dry, cool weather is affecting him here in the first, but he has not had real good command.
Well, that outing that I referred to at AT&T Park was not the first time he'd had trouble there. Same thing had happened a couple of years earlier, and it was night like tonight. Cool, breezy.
Yeah.
31 pitches in the first inning Monday. Already 24 this inning.
We've had a couple at bats get away from him. Had the one guy 0-2, ended up walking him. Yeah, that's an at bat that you wish you'd had that one back.
Careful on the first pitch here.
One ball, no strikes. Yadier Molina does not have a career hit against Julio. We'd like to see that continue. Molina coming back from 2 surgical procedures on his left thumb. He's 3 for 15 to start the year at the plate. To short. And the flip to second. Close play, and just in time to force Piscotty. Long inning for Teheran. 26 pitches. The Cardinals leave him loaded, and Atlanta comes up looking for an early start against Carlos Martinez, a flame-throwing Cardinal right-hander. No damage done. The Cardinals loaded the bases on 3 walks but could not score, and because of the Ender Inciarte injury, the Braves have shuffled their lineup. Eric Aybar first, Markakis second, then Freddie Freeman. Garcia, Brzezinski, Kelly Johnson the start in the outfield tonight. Drew Stubbs is in center, and the Braves better have their fastball hitting shoes on because this man is real tough.
Yeah, he can bring it. 6 feet 190 out of the Dominican Republic. Carlos Martinez, 24 years old. Those are the numbers last year. Outstanding numbers. But then all of a sudden he had a right shoulder strain on September 25th. They sat him down for the rest of the regular season, and he did not pitch in the postseason, which really hurt their rotation and their chances against the Cubs. But he was a huge part of their 100-win season. He's healthy and throwing mid to upper 90s in that fastball.
He has never given up a run against the Braves. In fact, he was the man that matched up with Shelby Miller last year in July in that classic game in St. Louis, won by the Cardinals 1-0. He gave up 6 hits in 8 innings that day at Busch. And that buzzed the tower at 93. Now 2 balls, no strikes to number 1, Eric Aybar. I see him hit a line drive toward first. Brandon Moss really having trouble with the dappled sunshine on the infield. He shields his eyes as that one sailed away. 3 balls and a strike.
Let's see if this cool breezy weather can affect Martinez out there. It seems like his command's a little spotty right now.
Yeah, his first start, and he had a good spring. They were pleased that he was healthy. 16 strikeouts, 15 innings.
There you go.
And nobody can find the strike zone. That's already our 4th walk in the game.
Yeah. All right.
So Aybar leads off with a walk. That brings up Nick Markakis, who was a jack of all trades in the Atlanta lineup last year, and hitting second in tonight's game.
A little shuffling of the lineup with some more lefties in there. Kelly Johnson in the lineup playing left field too, and moving Nick up to the 2 spot primarily because of this guy Martinez.
Nick had a hit last night, and that good work against the Cardinals is our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
Pretty good numbers there. Over 50 at bats. Base hit and a run scored last night. He came up with some runners on against tough lefty Segrist in the 7th and hit the ball hard, and Wong made a good play on him.
Big hole right side for Nick. And he hits the Molina glove perfectly. 0-2.
We're told that he's in the past he was pretty much fastball, slider, changeup, but because of the shoulder injury last year, they've tried to get him to shy away a little from the slider and throw more curveballs. So we'll probably see that pitch more often tonight.
Pop to shallow center. And Hazelbaker gallops in, makes the play. Markakis pops out. And there's out number 1 for Atlanta. Martinez, just 24 years old, was very close to a young player tragically lost by this St. Louis organization. That's Oscar Taveras, who is going to be their next young outfield star. Taveras killed in an automobile accident a couple of years ago, and Martinez wears number 18, which was Taveras' number in his friend's honor. And a live fastball at 96 is fouled right back by Freeman, who had a good cut. Strike 1. Freddie 1 for 10 to start the year. That hit a homer on opening day. And he struck out 5 times in his first 10 at bats.
It's an interesting shift they have on for him, but it may be because they've got a double play in order here. But they've really got the 3 infielders kind of bunched. Well, now they move Diaz over to the first base side a second, but everybody's pretty much bunched up the middle. Good change. Looked like a change up.
That's tough. 96 to 86.
Circle.
That was my best fastball last year, I think. Jeez.
Quit bragging.
Well, you know.
Off the plate. That was 98. That was his best fastball. He can bring it. Told by the Cardinals TV people that he was throwing 100 miles an hour in his last spring start. He's starting to get loose now. 2-2.
That's a nice take right there.
Freddie's had a little bit of a bug the last couple of days. Hasn't felt great. Hopefully he's feeling better tonight. It's been a rough spring. He had food poisoning down in Orlando. It cost him a day or two and a lot of weight as well. 3-2 pitch. Ibar leads at first and is going. The pitch is ball 4. Freeman walks. So the Braves have a threat. 2 on with 1 out, and Adonis Garcia is coming up.
I can hear your dad now. If you like bases on balls, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, the rules state that if you want to get a strikeout, you have to throw it in the zone.
Well, we know this guy can hit a fastball. He did good work against Steven Strasburg and Max Scherzer. Let's see if Adonis gets one to his liking. A little late.
Missed the target too and left that out over the plate. Got away with it. But when you throw 98, you can get away with a little more than 89.
Yeah, you can have a little more room for error in the upper 90s, that's for sure. I wouldn't know anything about it.
You heard that?
Missed the target again, and it was too far inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Fox Track says it was a strike, and it may have cost him a call because of how far it was away from Molina's target. That was a good pitch.
It was right down the middle, it looked like.
That's a pretty good one. We got to have that one, I think.
Not sure if Yachty's using a new glove or not, but if he is, it'll be broken in by the 2nd inning. He is popping the leather. 96 to 98 miles an hour.
There's that brace we were looking for last night. He wears it when he's catching. After 2 thumb surgeries in the offseason. Now, you have 2 surgeries on your catching thumb in the offseason and do whatever you've got to do to get it ready for spring training and for the season. And you got this guy, and then you got Wainwright throwing it heavy sinker and hard fastball. You better make sure you catch it in the pocket every time.
And how about trying to hit on a night like tonight with Teheran, who can bring it up there at 92 inside on your hands?
And not to mention a guy who throws this hard, who might throw one in the dirt that you've got to figure out a way to block and do your best just to keep it from getting by you. You don't know where it's going to hit you.
How about that stop?
Wow.
Holy smokes. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
He actually didn't go down. He went up. His glove went up.
That's why he's one of the best in the business.
My goodness.
He just has the instincts.
Platinum Glove winner. Perennial All-Star Yadier Molina. 3-2 pitch for Garcia with 2 on, 1 out. Swing and a miss, and a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That was thrown with a bit of anger, Tim.
Yeah, it was. You know, he has that fastball that he can just, you know, blow people away with. You know, such a live arm, and you know, sometimes if you just got to just rear back and let it go, you know, let him try to hit it.
Elevated that one. That's hard to catch up to.
It is.
AJ 1 for 8 at the plate this year. 10 hits away from 2,000. He's a former Cardinal and takes a strike. AJ played with the Cardinals in 2014. And he serves this one toward left. Matt Holliday drifts back. And neither club can cash in a lot of first inning walks. No score. We're off to the second inning.
Going into the second inning. Now, as we all know, NCRT was injured early in the game yesterday. Now, not much has changed. We know he's day-to-day and obviously not playing tonight. It is a mild sprain, but Freddie does say that he's feeling a lot better. They do hope to avoid the DL, but of course, if that does come to it, there is Mallet Smith ready to come up here. But I do expect this to not be that serious, guys.
That's certainly good news, Kelsey. That was the last thing the Braves wanted to see. Ender Inciarte running down the first base line, tweak a hamstring. And hopefully he'll be back in the next couple of days. But this time of year, guys, you have to be very, very careful.
I was just about to say that, Chip. On a cool night, last 2 nights, might take a chance. Especially with as much standing around as the defenders have done here in the first inning.
That's true. Hopefully things will change for Julio.
26 pitches for Julio in the opening frame. Colton Wong greets him in the second. And a swing and a miss. Hey, Joe, Tim's passes are here tonight.
Yeah, those are the Tim Hudson hats.
I was wondering where they were.
Happy hats. Boy George is here.
These are my people. Right on.
3 balls and a strike.
War Eagle.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there something going on I'm not aware of? Is Comic-Con in town or something like that?
I mean, that is a pair of very unique looks.
The hat, yeah, that looks like a bunch of Luigis over there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
Well, they're Redbird hats.
Yeah, they gotta be Cardinal fans.
The best dressed fans in baseball. Just ask them. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and a shot to right for Colton Wong. A lot of 3-2 counts for Julio in the first inning plus. And there's the first St. Louis hit.
Makes you a lot better hitter when you know the pitcher's trying to throw a strike.
This is Aledmys Diaz, the Cuban defector, signed by the Cardinals to an $8 million contract that covers 4 years. He was one of the men that hit a pinch hit home run last night. Cardinals had 3 pinch hit homers last night. You know how many pinch hit home runs they had all of last year? 4.
No kidding.
For the entire season.
Well, he hit one about 15 rows up off Eric O'Flaherty that jumped out of here.
Isn't it funny, for a Cardinal team that has had great shortstops year after year after year, it seems that's been the black hole for their franchise and their team this year. Johnny Peralta's hurt. They went and got Ruben Tejada. He's hurt. That one's off AJ's glove. And Wong will move up 90 feet. That's a pass ball.
Cross up maybe. Hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. The ball just took off on him. Hit him in the leather, though.
So runner at second for Diaz. Good change. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'd like to see Julio be a little more aggressive in the zone right here. He has a 1-2. Instead of wasting a couple pitches to go 3-2, let's try to get some quick outs.
Trying to climb the ladder, but Cardinal shortstop laid off. 2-2 your count. Diaz was called up from AAA when Tommy Pham went to the DL with an oblique problem on opening day. Same spot, same result, and another 3-2 count.
Go right after him. Get the pitcher 2 outs and work on Carpenter. Away.
Strike
Nice
3. So now you get the pitcher, and you've got a chance to get out of the inning.
Well, the worst case scenario there was if he had walked him. Then you give the pitcher a chance to make a good out by bunting the guys over to second and third, and then you got real trouble with the top of their order.
But 8 batters faced for Tehran so far, 5 full counts. And he's 1 out into the second inning. Here's Martinez. Up and in and all the way to the backstop. Wong to third. That's a wild pitch.
I think you're going to hear from Julio tonight after the game that he just couldn't hang on to the baseball. Good thing Carlos got out of the way of that one.
Yeah, that was a bit scary.
So the infield comes in for Atlanta. Long chat with Martinez. who had 5 sacrifices last year. He puts it in play. They're coming home on contact. Throw to the plate, and Wong outran the baseball. Fielder's choice scores a run. 1-0 St. Louis. How about that? Infield in, and St. Louis still able to score.
It's pretty much Cardinal baseball here, isn't it, Tim? Aggressive base running, taking a chance early.
It is. You know, those are the things that they do so well. They run the bases well. They seem to have the right reads on balls put in play. You know, off the bat, you know, it looked like it was going to be an out at home. He just outran the baseball.
Sure did. Great jump from third. Plus the pass ball and the wild pitch had a little something to do with that.
Sure it did.
So the Cardinals strike first, and back to the top we go, and Matt Carpenter, who bounced out to Freddie Freeman to start the game, and that one bounces by Brzezinski, and Martinez to second. Another wild pitch. And right now the ball is dancing and darting so much that AJ might have a better shot blindfolded.
Like a changeup that just held on a little too long, pulled it to touch.
That's 4 first pitch strikes out of 10 batters.
Yeah, that's not the percentage you're looking for.
Nope.
So an RBI chance for Carpenter. And launched foul, a ball into strike.
As a hitter, when a pitcher's scuffling like Julio is here in the early going just to get the ball over the plate, 2 wild pitches already, catcher charged with a pass ball on one that got away. I got to feel like when he does throw a strike, it's going to be center cut. It's going to be right down the middle in his efforts just to throw a strike. Advantage Carpenter.
Out of play. But still, that can't be an uncomfortable feeling because the ball is all over the place, right?
Yeah, but as a hitter, if you're as good as Carpenter is, certainly, you're not going to offer those in the dirt or those wild that are up and away. So the chances are good. Your count's going to be good. And when you do get a pitch to hit, it's going to be a good one to hit. It's not like Julio's hitting the corners like he did in his first start.
Well, the good thing is there's only been 1 run score, so he has a chance to limit some damage here. And you know, but his pitch count is getting high. He's at 43 pitches right now, so you'd like to see him try to get some quick outs, start pitching a little more to contact, and avoid those 2-0, 3-1 counts.
Driven down the right field line. That's big trouble. That's going to score a run. Martinez gallops home. Carpenter on his way to second. It's 2-0 St. Louis.
Turned on this one. Fastball inner third. Quick bat.
Yeah, he is really quick inside. It's hard to get one by him in there, especially when it's wanting to come back a touch. You know, he had the front door sinker coming in right there, and it was going to be on the black, it looked like, but he's able to tuck his hands and get the barrel to it.
Julio's not retired a left-handed batter in the game yet. And the Cardinals have struck for 2 here in the second. Beg your pardon. He's retired Carpenter once in 2 tries. All the other lefties have a perfect night. So that's a continuing problem spot for the Braves right-hander tonight. Here's Hazelbaker, who walked, stole second, and was left stranded at third. He was the first of 3 first-inning walks. 2 runs on 2 Cardinal hits.
Well, maybe the Braves can reverse their fortunes over the first 3 games where they've taken early leads and have not been able to hang on to them. Maybe tonight they'll turn the tables on the the Cardinals, provided Julio can hold him right there.
That's right. A lot of ball game left.
Jeremy Hazelbaker up for a second time in as many innings. Was a little late. Well, you know, he's loving these early days of the 2016 season. 7 years he spent in the minor leagues. He was a 4th-round draft pick of the Red Sox back in 2009.
Yeah, it's old man Hazelbaker's boy out there.
That's exactly right.
Gotta be proud of his son, I'm sure.
And he can really run. We saw that earlier. This man had 239 career minor league stolen bases, an average of 38 a year.
He had 63 one year at Greenville.
That's out of play. Hazelbaker, no kid. He's 28. He'll be 29 on August 14th.
All those years in the minor leagues, he had never hit 300 until last year in stops at Springfield and Memphis for the Cardinals, where he had 308. And then 207 at bats at Memphis. He had 333.
You enjoy stories like that, you know, grinding it out through the minor leagues and finally something clicking, and you know, get that confidence. Next thing you know, you're in the big leagues playing for the St. Louis Cardinals and hitting second.
What's tougher, facing a guy like Matt Holliday who's on deck, or an unknown guy like Hazelbaker in a game like this? If you're Julio Teheran. First the pitch is bounced foul. And you guys have scouting reports, you have video, you have all the advanced reports, but Julio's never seen this guy before, I'll bet.
No, he hasn't, but he has seen a lot of Matt Holliday. And if I have to pick one of the two, I'm gonna go with old Hazelbaker. But you know, he is doing well for him this year, and he's playing with some confidence, that's for sure.
And the pride of Ball State University. And Wapahani, Indiana High School. In the air, shallow left. That's playable for Kelly Johnson. And there's the second out. So here's old man Holliday's son, Matt. Tim might call him. He flat out his first time up. We were talking about Holliday last night, how he's really kind of broken the mold of hitters that flourish at Coors Field but struggle everywhere else. That hasn't been the case for Matt Holliday. He enters this season a lifetime .307 hitter. A .298 average in his time with the Cardinals that began in 2009.
Yeah, he's just a pro. He's a professional hitter. He has a great approach. You know, I think what really makes him great is he understands the pitchers and what they're trying to do with him, and what the pitcher's strengths are.
Last year, an injury-plagued season interrupted a run of 5 straight years with 20 or more homers for the Cardinals. Last season, Matt played 73 times.
A lot of times when I hear somebody say that, like you just said, about him knowing, has a good understanding what pitchers are trying to do to him, that's an indication the guy's a pretty good guess hitter, that he's anticipating.
That's true.
Matt's best season came with the Rockies in 2007. How about these numbers? Led the league in hitting at .340. Led the league in hits with 216. Led the league in doubles with 50. Hit 36 homers. Led the league also in RBIs with 137, and only struck out 126 times.
That's a good year.
Yeah. Slugging percentage of .607 and on base of .405 that year.
That's solid. I don't care if you're playing on the moon.
Right.
Those are pretty good numbers.
No kidding.
At 36 years young. And now the 2-2 is out of play. Believe it or not, Holiday did not win the MVP that year. 2007. Jimmy Rollins.
That's definitely the Coors Field bias when it comes to those votes. Not that Jimmy didn't deserve it, but a lot of people won't vote for a guy who puts together that kind of a season in Colorado, and it's a shame.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm going to tell you, Citizen Bank Park is not exactly the polo grounds either. I mean, that place, I mean, that's a pretty good hitting place itself. So
yeah, you could shake hands with the popcorn vendors on the left, can't you?
Yeah.
Seems to me Joey Votto won an MVP hitting in their bandbox as well in Cincinnati.
Swing and a miss. And that'll retire the side. 58 pitches for Tehran. The Cardinals strike first with a pair in the second.
Is sponsored by Delta Airlines, your local Ford dealer, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
2-0 St. Louis with Joe Simpson and the always graceful Tim Hudson.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, how did my glove even get there? What in the world?
That looks like it hurt.
Man, it did.
Was that the play that made you decide, I think it's safer to be on the pitcher's mound?
Yeah. You know, I thought I was an athlete back then.
Did you make the catch?
The strange thing is that ball was about 10 feet over the fence. It was about 10. It was about 10 rows deep.
Kelly Johnson with a wild throw at first. And the Cardinals have had defensive issues in the early going this year. Diaz had a costly error against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He throws that one away. And after Judd Jerko had 2 errors at short last night, this can't make Mike Matheny happy in game 2. Already 7 errors for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Threw him a great sinker. And we've seen not just opponent shortstops, but Ibar as well, not really cut it loose. Everybody trying to just lay it in over there and not very accurate.
Well, if it's tough for the pitchers to feel the baseball, I guess it's the same for the field too.
Could be.
Well, it could be, especially when the long innings, pitchers falling behind in counts. The defenders behind you are going to they're going to struggle, get cool, just as well.
Drew Stubbs gets a start tonight with Ender Inciarte day to day with that hamstring. Heard Kelsey's report on Ender earlier tonight. Drew got 3 at bats in the game, had a hit. And now faces a 1-1 count. 2-0 St. Louis. A lot of base runners, lots of bases on balls from tonight's starters. Lots of deep counts too. And right on by, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
His fastball's got some life, especially upstairs, as we saw in that pitch that he ran up out of the zone to Garcia for the strikeout. That one was running in on Stubbs.
He just seems like he has another gear when he wants it. He'll take that 92 and turn it into 98.
And Brew couldn't make contact. He's down swinging. Second strikeout for the Cardinal right-hander. 1 on, 1 out for Jace Peterson.
Well, he struck out better than an inning strikeout per inning last year. 184 total and 179 and 2/3 innings. And again, he was 14-7 with an ERA of 3.01 when they shut him down with a sore shoulder. He had a terrific year.
They'd love him to stay healthy and have an even bigger year this year. What with Lance Lynn out for the season, that's a big loss for the Cardinals.
Yeah, think about St. Louis. 100 wins last year. They lost Wainwright in May. They lost this guy. Granted, it was at the end of the season. They haven't been able to get their rotation together for any length of time over the last 2 years.
1 strike for Jace. And just missed. Last 8 years, the Cardinals have averaged 91 wins a year.
It's not too bad.
Whew. Look out. Oh yeah, there's a screen back there. Jace lost the handle on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He'll get a little pine tar. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's really losing it. You got 2 gloves on, you got tape on the bat or a grip on the bat, plus pine tar and rosin. Good pitch there. Took something off, put it right where Molina wanted it. There's no sleeves for him tonight.
And a breaking ball fools Jace Peterson, who's down on strikes for the 3rd time this year. And Kelly at first now with 2 outs, and Julio Teheran.
Now that looks like the slider that we were told he's not throwing as much. And it looked like he took a little off of it too.
Yeah, it definitely was a little hard. It's hard to say. I mean, he throws so hard that, I mean, that could have been, you know, a slurvy curveball. Who knows? But it was definitely slower than one of the sliders that he threw earlier in the game.
Moss will back up and play behind Kelly Johnson at first with pitcher up and 2 outs. And 0-2.
That's a smart move defensively, because you figure the Braves aren't going to take a chance of Kelly running and getting thrown out and having Julio lead off the next inning. One thing that Molina does, Tim, I'd be curious to know how you preferred it. He sets up late. He gives the sign, he waits, and then as the pitcher's about to deliver, then he throws the glove target up and moves. That distracting to you?
You know, I don't think so. I think, you know, the more the veteran pitcher, the less it would bother you.
Martinez struck out the side and leads by 2 after 2. For tonight's Greatness Made Here feature, brought to you by Synovus, of course, with Tim Hudson here. It's a look back at Tim's great career here with the Atlanta Braves.
Fun to watch.
Now, I was joking in our opening comments. You had 113 wins, but you had 3 home runs. What are you more excited about?
That's right. For sure the homers, especially the Oppo Taco against Washington. Yeah, it takes a special swing to go yard that way here at this park.
Was that the home run that had the world's slowest home run trot? Was that the one, or was that a different one?
I think that was a different one.
No, this one was the one off of Harper's glove, wasn't it?
No. Come on.
Oh, that was another one.
It was way gone.
Oh.
Way gone.
Just like the one you face planted on the fence. It was 10 rows deep.
Yeah, I had a beat on that ball. Just the fence got in the way.
So you were Bryce Harper before Bryce Harper was.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, that was original.
Brandon Moss to work for the Cardinals in the 3rd. He walked and was stranded in the 1st. Julio needs an easy inning. He's thrown a ton of pitches, as you see.
I'd like to get some quick outs here. Get back in the dugout and let our guys score some runs for him.
Spent a lot of time here with the Braves. Do you have a favorite memory, Tim?
You know what? I mean, I think one of my favorite memories is this Bobby Cox's last season here. Just being able to experience that whole year, and you know, it was very special for me to be a part of it. You know, I obviously grew up a Braves fan and a big fan of Bobby Cox and Chipper Jones and John Smoltz and all the guys, and you know, be able to be a part of his last season and see how the league and all the other teams just respected him throughout baseball was something that was I was glad to be a part of it. And you know, made the playoffs for him his last season. I wish we could have done better and won him a championship, but it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
That was a pretty exciting series, though.
Great
with
series.
The Giants and Ankiel hitting that huge home run.
It was a lot of fun. You know, I really thought we were going to beat the Giants that year. I thought we had a better team, and not only did we not beat them, but nobody else did either.
No.
On to win the whole thing.
And if I remember correctly, when the final out of that final game against the Giants was made, something that I've never seen in a major league game, playoff game, happen. The Giants kind of postponed their on-field celebration to turn around and salute Bobby Cox, who walked out onto the field in his last game in uniform, and Bruce Bochy, their players, stood and applauded Bobby Cox before they got on with celebrating a hard-fought series win.
Yeah, you know, it was a classy move for sure. You know, I know obviously playing for Bruce the last couple of years, it makes sense now, you know, just after being in the locker room with him in the dugout. You know, he's a classy guy. You know, I had a chance to play for 2 really good ones in baseball, Bobby Cox and Boach. So
sure did.
It was a classy move on their part.
Stephen Piscotty bats and hits a rocket to left, and that gets through Garcia and Ibar for a 1-out single. And Piscotty's aboard for the 2nd time tonight. That's the 3rd Cardinal hit. Braves don't have one yet.
I know here early on Hazelbaker's been stealing some of the headlines, and rightfully so for the Cardinals, but I sure like this guy. He looked good last year. He's over in a spot in right field where he's comfortable and going to be, as I said last night, guy may make them forget about their previous right fielder who went to Chicago.
Yeah, Piscotty hit .305 for the Cardinals over 63 games, drove in 39 runs, scored 29.
You know, it seems like all the young guys that St. Louis brings up, they just, you know, they seem so comfortable playing baseball at this level, and they just seem like the stage is never too big for them. You know, I'm not quite sure what they do in their organization, but when they have guys ready to play at this level, they expect them to come up and produce right away, and they seem to come up and hold themselves really well.
Well, for so many years they had a man named George Kissel who was so instrumental in developing their young players, much like Bobby Dews was with the Braves. We certainly miss Bobby Dews.
Well, that was one of the great things about when Bobby was the manager of the Braves. There was a way that the Braves taught their minor leaguers to play that was the way Bobby wanted them to play.
Molina drives one to right. Markakis into the corner is going to make room.
And when you have a manager and the consistency of an organization where the manager is there as long as Bobby was the manager of the Braves, it's pretty easy for the managers to say, you know, that's not the way Bobby does things. You get to the big leagues, that's not going to fly. You know, you got to play the game the right way, and this is the way it's expected to be played when you get to that level. And I think the Cardinals pretty much do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain way that, you know, obviously, you know, you want your players to play you know, at this level, and you know, for a manager, you want to know what your young players are capable of, and obviously, if you implement something throughout your minor league system, you know how to do things, you know, certain ways to play, how to go about your business out there. The manager knows what they're getting with a young player. And
yeah, I think that's a great point, especially for a manager to have that kind of confidence in the instruction in the minor leagues, to know that when a guy does rise to the big league level, you just assume and figure he knows how to play. He may not always be successful.
Yeah, you want everybody to be on the same page.
Yes,
for sure.
No balls and a strike. Cardinals batting in the 3rd. They lead Julio Teheran to zip. Runner goes. Pitch caught on and skied toward right.
Nobody sees it.
And Markakis can't catch it. And a run's going to score. Piscotty comes all the way home. And Colton Wong winds up at 3rd base. That ball hung up there for an eternity. Stubbs never saw it. Markakis had trouble, and the Cardinals get a gift. It's 3-0.
Stubbs never saw it, and he's got his arms out, but Nick didn't realize it till it was too late. Did everything he could, but couldn't make the catch.
It's that time of the evening when the sky might be a little tough to see the ball. That's for sure.
It's an error on Markakis. I think it's safe to say for both teams this is not exactly a sterling example of crisp Major League Baseball. Each team with an error. A lot of walks in the first inning from Teheran and Martinez, 5 combined. And now with 2 outs, St. Louis gets a gift third run for Aledmys Diaz.
That's a tough error. I mean, it's a routine fly ball that you expect to get caught. You rule it a triple, and it's an earned run for the pitcher. But Nick obviously was just trying to save the day when he realized that Stubbs didn't see it.
This isn't exactly how you drew it up, that's for sure.
Two balls, 1 strike. And the Braves will go ahead and walk Diaz and take the chances with Martinez. So ball 4, 1st and 3rd.
Nick's looking over at Stubbs, and it wasn't until the last second that he realized Stubbs didn't see it.
No lights in the outfield makes it tough for the outfielders this time of night.
Then you wonder how well Markakis could pick it up after,
yeah,
you know, after looking up in the last minute.
Martinez had a healthy cut. He's the man that hit the bouncing ball to Jace Peterson with the infield drawn in. Colton Wong scampered home ahead of the throw for the first Cardinal run. Martinez then scored on a Carpenter double, and he squibs that one to first. That is a fair ball. Freeman deflects it into the dirt about 3 feet away, picks it back up, steps on the bag, and that retires the side. 3-0, St. Louis the lead. Earlier tonight what his favorite Braves memory was, and our great crew had a few great Tim Hudson memories of their own. How about that one?
Good Lord.
Yeah, but look how quick you're back to your feet.
I think they've watered the mound a little too much right there.
Look at Chipper.
It's a little slippery.
The tip of the cap. I forgot that.
That's right.
You know what? The one thing that really I thought characterized your career, Tim, was obviously very talented, but you had fun.
Yeah.
You did have fun, didn't you?
I did. You know, we play a kids game for a living, and you know, we're very blessed to be out there and play baseball. And you know, you got to have fun. You know, it's obviously a serious sport at this level, and it's your job, but you know, you got to enjoy it. You have to have fun. You have to make light of some goofy situations once in a while, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun for me.
You know, we've got that video of Smoltz and his stop, drop, and roll play at first base where he was just flopping around.
Yeah.
At least you were very graceful in the way you just popped right up and waiting for the scores from the judges. And
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. It scared me to death for a second. Yeah. I jumped up. I thought I might have blown something out. And then when I figured out I was okay, I was like, all right, I'm all right. I think I can keep pitching.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
What in the world just happened?
Golly. Right? Ed, man, the grounds crew guy, he soaked the mound that night.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Eric Ibar. And that one served into left, and the Braves have their first hit.
All right.
So the second time through the order. Let's see if Atlanta can get on the board here. Well, Joe, I don't think I'm going out on too far a limb when I say that that play by Tim Hudson was much more athletic than John Smoltz in the stop, drop, and roll play.
There's no question.
Yeah, that for sure was. I'm a much better athlete than Smoltzy.
Yeah, you're about 170 years younger too.
Well,
that helps.
No, yeah, Smoltzy's one of the best athletes I've ever been around. There's no question about it. At least I kept my hat on though.
He didn't even throw the ball.
Yeah, it's because I'm an athlete.
Yeah,
you know.
No fumble.
Didn't want to throw a ball.
Nick Markakis with a man aboard. Nick flied out to center. So he's 0 for 1 in the game. Finals starting to roll up from this afternoon. How about the Reds? Had 4 of their starting pitchers on the disabled list to start the year, yet they're 4-1. They won again today, beat the Pirates 5-1. They've had the Pirates number the last couple of years. Beat them again today. Dodgers beat the Giants 3-2-10. How about that game last night? The young kid pitching for LA, Ross
Stripling
had a no-hitter through 7 1/3 innings and got taken out of the game.
Yeah.
And then the relief pitcher came on, and Trevor Brown hit a home run to tie the game 2-2, and Carl Crawford in the 10th won it for the Giants last night. Today it was Kershaw and Bumgarner again. And as you'd expect, a low-scoring game out west.
It's a marquee matchup.
And Bumgarner took him deep again.
Tell you, big fella, he can hit.
Pop back out of play.
Taught him everything he knows.
Did you?
I wished. Just tried not to screw him up while I was out there.
Yeah, Gretchen Caney tells us that Ross Stripling was Michael Wacha's college teammate. How about that?
Well, one of the reasons they took him out was because he's just a year removed from his Tommy John surgery, so they're trying to limit his pitch count.
One-two pitch. Molina couldn't get that one, can't find it. And Ibar into second on a wild pitch.
Well, we're filling up all the squares tonight, boys.
Pretty much.
Even Molina wasn't sure how to get out of the way of that one.
Markakis tries to split the gap in left center. He will, and the Braves are on the board. Ibar scores. Markakis a double. It's a 3-1 game.
Charged with that error that allowed a run to score. Nick comes back, gets it right back.
That's what he did so well last year. He has an uncanny ability to hit the ball to left as a left-hand hitter.
Got a high changeup too and didn't miss it. Cardinals were playing shallow and they couldn't cut it off. Wouldn't have mattered.
It's on the board. First run.
There we go. And Freddie Freeman, the batter. Freddie walked his first time up. And high and tight. Ball 1.
First run Martinez has given up to the Braves.
That's right. Single wild pitch and a double starts the Atlanta third. And out of play. Something else about the Cardinals. They've not given up a home run yet. Did not allow a home run to the Pirates. Didn't allow a home run to the Braves. Last time they went the first 5 games of a year without allowing a home run was 1970. You know who was pitching for the Cardinals that year?
No.
Bob Gibson, Jerry Royce, Steve Carlton, Mike Torres, Al Roboski.
It's a pretty good group.
Yeah, not too bad.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, Molina held it there. Good eye by Freddie. 2-2.
Yeah, Martinez wanted that one.
Broken bat flare the other way. That'll drop. Markakis will come around and score with Holiday playing deep. It's a 1-run game.
You know, if I didn't know better, I'd swear that that's exactly what Freddie was trying to do. With the infield swung around, all that room on the left side. Fought this off. Coming into him. And just kind of the way he followed through. Like he was kind of following through towards shortstop. Yeah. Almost looked like that's where he was trying to take that.
So let's take a look at our BMW Mini Let's Motor player profile. Freddie Freeman's work against right-handed pitching the last 2+ seasons.
Wearing out those right-handers.
Ball 1 for Adonis Garcia, who struck out in the Atlanta first. 3-2 game here in the third. It has been a tough night for Teheran and Martinez so far.
Well, and keep in mind too, Martinez wanted that pitch before. He didn't get it. It would have been strike 3. Might have been a little frustrated by that. Maybe that's why he's getting talking to.
Nice luxury for Mike Matheny to have someone as accomplished as Yadier Molina handling your pitching staff.
Yeah, he's like a pitching coach on the field with those guys. Their staff is definitely, they pitch a lot better when he's back there taking those pitches from them for sure.
You guys had a guy like that in San Francisco too, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Buster Posey.
Markakis and Freeman with RBI hits and a 2-0 count.
That ought to lift Julio Teheran quite a bit. Getting him back in the game.
Get him back out there and start getting some quick outs. Get back in the dugout.
Mile high fly ball to center. Hazel Baker is there, has it for the first out. I don't know if there's a man alive that can hit the ball out of the ballpark tonight with the wind blowing as strongly as it is this evening. That one too high for Garcia, who's 0 for 2. A.J. Brzezinski, the subject of our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard tonight. Milestone for A.J. very close.
I mean, he could climb over five of those guys pretty easily. With a decent year, kind of year he had last year.
Look at these names. Bench, Carter, Piazza, Berra.
I mean, just a little over 100 hits. He climbs over 2.
Up the middle, Cardinals had him played perfectly. Out there, and the inning is over. The Braves rally for a couple of runs on 3 consecutive hits. We head to the 4th.
It's 3-2 going into the top of the 4th, and now it is time for your Xfinity game break. Check this out. Bumgarner going yard off of Kershaw for the 2nd time in his career. But guys, the best part of this, Kershaw has allowed 11 home runs in his past 27 starts, and 2 of them have been hit by Bumgarner. What do you think about that, guys?
Well, Tim, you talked about the big fella, Madison Bumgarner. He can hit.
He can hit. You know, it was pretty embarrassing sometimes last year when, you know, they'd bring him pinch hit in the 8th and 9th inning for you. They pinch hit a pitcher for a pitcher. You know, but he could do it, man. He could hit the ball a long ways. I put him up against anybody in a home run derby.
Really?
Yeah, he hits the ball a long ways.
Now this was, I think, the 8th time that Kershaw and Madison Bumgarner have hooked up in a regular season game. As Matt Carpenter leads off with a rocket up the middle. First pitch single for the Cardinal leadoff man. And that's how the 4th inning starts. We who don't see the Giants or Dodgers very much, you were there last year. You saw those matchups the last couple of years. Those have to be like playoff games when they hook up.
They are. They're exciting. You know, Madison, he's a guy who really just tries to elevate his play in a big situation like that. Obviously, Kershaw's, you know, regarded as one of the best, if not the best, in the National League. And, you know, I think Madison is a guy who, you know, he thinks he's the best. And when he's going against Kershaw, he wants to prove everybody in baseball that he's better than him. And he pitches with a grudge sometimes, and it was fun to watch him.
Hazelbaker lays down a bunt, and it's a beauty. Teheran lets it go, and by the time Garcia picks it up, Hazelbaker's aboard with a hit. So after the Braves got Teheran 2 runs, he's immediately back in trouble.
He leads their team in homers. He led their team in spring training in homers. He hit 3, and now he's dropping bunts down that are just perfect. Teheran, not sure if Garcia was going to take it. It wouldn't have mattered who picked it up. Nobody was going to throw him out.
Yeah, it's perfectly placed.
What a start for this guy who's been waiting so long for a chance to play at this level.
7 years in the minors. As high as he got was AAA in Pawtucket with the Red Sox organization. The Cardinals scooped him up, and here he is. And Matt Holliday, a little number, back to the mound. That's a very productive at bat. Runners move to second and third, now with 1 out.
Well, what you were hoping for was a shutdown inning after the Braves get 2 of the runs back. Cardinals jump on them right away. Position for a chance to get the runs back, and Alexei Ogando loosens up.
Julio's spot is due 4th when the Braves hit in this 4th inning. And he's a former starting pitcher, so he might be called upon to pitch a couple of innings, maybe 3 or 4 tonight. Here's Brandon Moss, and he hits one high in the air toward left. Kelly drifts back. It'll be deep enough to bring home Carpenter. He tags, he scores, runner tagging, moving to third, and slides in ahead of the throw. So the Cardinals manufacture a 4th run and now have a 2-run lead. It's 4-2.
Tell you what, old man Hazelbaker's son can run.
He's a pretty good ball player. He can move.
Kelly in there for the first time tonight, caught that a little flat-footed. Wasn't able to get a lot on that throw, but Hazelbaker can move.
High and tight to Stephen Piscotty. 1 ball, no strikes, and no swing. He's walked, singled, and scored tonight. Nice crowd here in Atlanta on a chilly Saturday night. We had 28,000 here last night for Friday night fireworks. Might be more than that here tonight. 1-1 pitch. Toward short. Tricky hop. Ibar stayed with it. Throw pulls Freeman off the bag, and a run is in.
Horrible bounce. Caused him to have to lunge for it and then throw off balance. And that pulled Freddie off the bag and cost Tehran another run.
A tough break all the way around.
Yep. Watch this hop.
It took a big hop. Took a shade to the right.
So it's an infield hit and an RBI for Piscotty. 2 more across for the Cardinals. Here's Yadier Molina 0 for 2. 5-2 Cardinals lead.
One of the things that plagued Julio last year, and he had a great finish to his season, but it was still an ERA in the 4s when it all was said and done, because he had some games where he was giving up 6-7 earned runs in a short start. Some ERA killers. Had a 9 ERA in interleague play.
Yeah, those tough games where you give up 6, 7, or 8, they'll balloon your ERA up there a little bit, and it takes a little while for you to work itself down.
One ball, 2 strikes. Runner goes, and Molina is late, and that'll retire the side. 2 runs 3 hits and 1 costly bad bounce.
Will perform after the game Sunday, April 24th. A free concert for everyone in attendance. Limited VIP passes are available for the show for only $10. Act fast by visiting braves.com/concerts today.
Now, Joe, we've had John Smoltz, we've had Chipper Jones, we've had Tom Glavine, and now Tim Hudson. All of them have read promos. I think we've set a new standard with that particular reading.
You know, for a guy who's in the booth for the first time, I think he just set the bar real high.
Yeah.
You know, that's right.
I mean, how can you top that?
Man of many words.
Man of many words. Exactly right.
I especially like the way he said hip hop.
Kelly Johnson leads off in a 5-2 St. Louis game. A lot of base runners so far tonight. We do not yet have a 1-2-3 inning.
I'll tell you who's ringing in my ears, though.
Hazel Baker in center. The wind's going to push that one back toward the infield.
I can hear it all the way from the north side of town. It kind of goes back to that Chicks Dig the Long Ball commercial when one of them yelled out, "Hey, we got Cy Young winners over here." I can just hear him. Hey,
don't forget about me. Drew Stubbs bats. He was strikeout victim number 2 for Carlos Martinez. He delivers a strike. Cubs lead Arizona tonight 3-0. And you know about Kyle Schwarber getting hurt in the desert the other day. The big story in that game is Zach Greinke pitching in his second game for the Diamondbacks. He gave up 7 runs in his first start. He gave up 3 first-inning runs tonight. Pop back this way and out of reach. 1-2. Big difference, Tim, between pitching at Dodger Stadium and Chase Field in Phoenix, huh?
It is. You know, Chavez Ravine is a pretty nice place to pitch. And you know, the desert's it's tough. It can be tough there at Chase Field, and you know, I think he may be seeing some of that now.
A little pop behind first. Moss drifts back and makes the grab with the left hand. 2 outs.
But Greinke, he's pretty good. I think he'll figure, if anybody can figure it out, I think he can. He's got some really good stuff.
If he's healthy, you know, kind of draws to mind to me some discussions last winter when after the Diamondbacks signed him. Of course, he passed a physical and all that. But some questions of people rose that maybe he wasn't right.
Yeah. Well, he's had some mileage. There's no question about it. He's been pitching for a long time, and he's never had any problems with his arm up to now. And
there's a liner by Jace Peterson. And he's aboard with 2 outs. The end of the line has come for Julio Teheran. Hector Oliveira is going to grab a bat, pinch hit here in the 4th. First hit of the year for Jace.
And one of the first guys to square one up, get it on the barrel. Good swing by Jace.
Hector 2 for 10 with the Braves. He's got an RBI. And a rocket shot off the screen. That's one of the features around all of Major League Baseball. Much higher netting. It extends to the on deck circles here at Turner Field. That ball last year would have ended up in the seats.
Tell you what, good thing Ibar's short. That went right over the top of his head.
That one is into the seats. Much higher trajectory and quickly 0-2. We wrap up the series with the Cardinals here tomorrow. Adam Wainwright will pitch for the Cardinals. Williams Perez will go for the Braves. Braves live at 1 o'clock. Joe and I will have the action for you beginning at 1:35. Still 0-2.
This guy factors into the long-term plans of the Braves, Tim, after acquiring him from the Dodgers. By the time they move into SunTrust Park next year and start adding their core of young players, this guy is certainly part of it.
Yeah.
What a stop by Molina. Throw back to first, and just back is Jace Peterson. That was an incredible pick and throw by Yadier Molina. He didn't get the out, but he saved a base by snagging that ball in the dirt.
You know, it's almost like having Andrelton Simmons behind the plate. He's just amazing on short hops, and with a runner on base, he almost picks him off.
Yeah, his instincts are off the chart.
It's crazy.
He's unbelievable back there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Broken bat, roller toward third. Carpenter's got it. Tricky hop, can't handle it, and all hands are safe. Seen a couple of bad bounces on the left side of the infield tonight. This one benefits the Braves. 2 on, 2 out after the error, and Eric Ibar's coming up.
Came up on him. Turnabout's fair play on the bad hops. Now maybe the Braves can take advantage of that.
Don't have to get them all at once. A run here, a run there. See what happens. 5-2 St. Louis. 2 on, 2 out. Ibar's reached twice. He's walked, he has singled, and he has scored. Ibar batting leadoff with Inciarte down with an injury. The pitch is right there for a strike.
So far tonight, this is not a clinic type video you'd want to show little leaguers. That tight shot there of home plate. You could see Molina's eyes as he was giving the signs to Martinez. He was checking out Ibar to make sure he wasn't peeking. Not that time.
Swing and a miss. Molina passed the great Ted Simmons on the all-time games caught list for the Cardinals.
That was 96. With some sink.
It was sinking and running. It was pretty nasty. It's a tough pitch to handle.
He catches like a first baseman. The way he can backhand the ball in the dirt. And out of play, foul.
It's like they're not, guys on the field aren't the only ones booting it tonight.
First major spill of the year, fellas. Proud to say.
As long as it didn't get on our new partner.
I couldn't afford that suit.
No. It's a show suit.
Did you go out and buy that for the show today?
Just for it.
Come on now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 5-2 Redbirds. Serve toward left. Holiday will give a step or two. He's got it. And that'll retire the side. Braves threaten with 2 outs. Can't break through. Trail by 3 after 4. Cardinals lead game 2 5-2. A lot of big leaguers wishing Tim Hudson well tonight. How about that note?
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, he ate that right afterwards.
Oh. One old timer to another.
There you go. Bartolo's pitching tonight for the Mets. Phillies are leading them 1-0. Vince Velasquez, who came over from the Astros, is pitching for Philadelphia. As Alexio Gondo takes over in the 5th for the Braves. He's got the bottom of the order coming up. And ball 1 to Colton Wong.
Phillies are off to a slow start too. They've lost 4.
They've got bullpen issues. Big night tonight for Bartolo Colon. If he can win, he would tie Pedro Martinez for 2nd place on the all-time win list for Dominican-born pitchers at 219 in his career.
You know, I know he pitches for the Mets and in this division and everything, but I look forward to those starts. I like watching him pitch at age 57 or whatever he is. I'm not,
right.
I've lost track.
He's the ageless wonder.
Yes.
He just goes out there and gets it done.
And he has fun. I mean, he's not grinning and mugging or anything, but he's just flipping the ball in the air and waiting for the batter to get in the box. And
yeah, he's enjoying it.
He is.
He's enjoying it. You can tell.
We had the game here in Atlanta. I think it was last year when the Mets scored a run. He may have scored a run, and he came out of the game or maybe had finished pitching the inning, and all of his teammates were giving him the high five, and Bartolo Colon grabbed his love handles and just sort of gave him a shake.
Gave him a belly bump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck, I enjoyed watching him hit more than anything. That was entertaining.
You're the one, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what, when I was pitching, I like seeing him come up anyway.
There you go. Colton Wong has singled, scored, and reached on a 3-base error. Told you earlier tonight that Alexi Ogando has been a major league starting pitcher. Had a big year with the Rangers in 2011. But just hasn't been able to stay healthy. As that one's going to drop in between Kelly Johnson and Drew Stubbs. Wind pushed that back toward the infield. And Colton Wong, a blue pit.
Yeah, that it did. Yeah, off the bat, it looked like it was going to get out there for an out, but wind's pushing them back towards the infield.
He's the guy that hit the ball in the air that was lost in the twilight. Thought maybe he'd try it again.
And a strike to Aledmus Diaz.
You talked about this guy earlier, Chip, about how they'd given him some money, 4-year deal, but they actually took him off the 40-man roster. They were so disappointed in his lack of progress. And then lo and behold, here he is. He's made some strides, made the adjustment to playing in this country.
Double play ball, but Ibar kicks it. I got to tell you, we're 4 games in, and one thing Freddie Gonzalez keeps saying before the game when we meet with him is we have got to catch the ball, and the Braves are not doing that. And it is costing them dearly in these first 4 games. That is a routine double play ball, and Ibar just flat out missed it.
Well, I think Tim would agree that no team looks worse than when they're playing poor defense. If you're not making plays defensively, you look a lot worse than you are.
That's true. At this level, you expect the routine balls to be made, and especially in a situation like this, you're down 5-2. You have a pitcher out there who gets you a ground ball double play, and you just can't come up with the play for him. And it does. It looks tough out there, but you just hope that Ogando can put this play behind him and get him a good ground ball to try to pick his guys up and hopefully get another double play to get us back into this inning.
Two errors tonight for the Braves. One of them, though, was that sky-high ball that Stubbs and Markakis lost in the twilight.
Well, another play that wasn't an error and shouldn't have been an error was the bad hop to Ibar that he had to throw off balance and pull Freddie off the bag that allowed a run to score with 2 out. There's no 2 ways about it. It's ugly.
And we're almost 2 hours in and not through the top of the 5th. Bat pulled back, and Martinez slugs it to right. Streaking home and scoring is Wong, and Martinez has a 2 RBI night at the plate. And after the no double play, St. Louis gets another run.
That's how you draw it up right there, isn't it, Tim? Pull the bat back and go the other way.
Well, that's something that the Cardinals do so well. They put pressure on your defense. In a situation like that, it seems like it's going to be an obvious bunt situation, but they have faith in their pitchers that they can pull the bat back and put it in play and create some problems for you defensively.
So he's fired up, and justifiably so. He extends his lead to 4 runs, and now we go back to the top of the order.
Especially when your defense gives them a gift like that. It seems like they do such a great job of trying to take advantage of the other team's mistakes.
Carpenter had a big year for the Cardinals last year, hit 28 homers. I didn't realize this until I read it. There's only one man in the National League that has more hits than Matt Carpenter since the start of the 2013 season. That's Andrew McCutchen of the Pirates.
No kidding.
And we all know how great a player Andrew McCutchen is. One pitch from Ogando.
Carpenter, he has such a patient approach up there. It seems like he never swings at bad pitches. He's a guy that, you know, as a pitcher, when you're up there and you're barely missing the corners, and he's taking some really close pitches, it drives you crazy. You know, that's just what kind of eye he has.
And as Joe said, a real quick bat. If you try to fool him inside, he'll hurt you.
You can't shoot it by him with a gun.
Carpenter out of Galveston, Texas. Joe and I talked about this a lot last night. This Cardinal team is not exactly stocked with #1 picks. They've gotten a lot of mileage out of mid-round draft choices. Carpenter, another one of them. 13th round pick, the 399th player taken in 2009.
Played at TCU, so I'm sure there's scouts that watched him play against high level of college competition. Watched him a lot, saw what he could do against that competition, and took a chance on him.
So this one's spiraling out of control for Ogando. He's got the bases loaded, nobody out after Carpenter walks. And here's Hazelbaker again. That's down the left field line and just foul. Woo. That would have scored 2 for sure, and maybe all 3, and that's the margin of error for Hazelbaker.
Just missed. Boy, he's been going. If he hits one out here and gets his first grand slam, they may put a statue up at Ball State.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
95.
Need a pop up right here or strikeout.
Still 0-2.
And that would be a big out with a double play candidate on deck, even though you don't want to face Matt Holliday with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
You know, if you can get him to hit it on the ground, you got a chance to turn it.
Yeah. I mean, triple play would be nice, right?
Yeah, I'd take that. Tough at bat here. Alexi throws hard. This might be a good time to elevate one, see if he chase one up out of the zone.
Toward left. Kelly's got it. Runner tags at third, streaks for the plate, makes it without a throw. Sac fly for Hazelbaker, who's having a whale of a series. Diaz scores. Runners hold at first and second. St. Louis makes it 7-2 with one out. If it's been said once, it's been said a million times in our sport. You can't give good teams extra opportunities because they will make you pay dearly. And that's exactly what St. Louis has done tonight. 2 more runs across here in the 5th. And now you have to deal with Holiday with 2 on and 1 out.
Yeah, it's tough enough to beat the good teams with 27 outs. You start giving them more than that, then it starts going in their favor a little bit.
And from a pitching standpoint, Tim, you make a good pitch. You feel like, all right, I got the ground ball. I'm going to have 2 outs here. And all of a sudden that doesn't happen. What's that emotional swing like?
Well, I mean, you know, mentally it can, you know, it can be frustrating once in a while, especially if it's a time when you've been scuffling a little bit and you finally make a pitch to get out of a jam.
Up the middle. Peterson backflip to eyeball. Throw to first. There's a nifty double play. 4-6-3 and out goes St. Louis, but they pick up a couple of more runs. Top of the order is coming up for Atlanta. 7-2 St. Louis Lou. The bottom of the 5th inning. The tributes keep rolling in for Tim Hudson, who makes his broadcast debut tonight. We asked Braves first baseman Freddie Freeman for his thoughts about his former teammate.
It's a little different from what I'm used to from Huddy, but you know he's a good talker, so I'm sure he's going to be just fine. But you know, I saw that press announcement from a couple of days ago, and it was like a big ordeal for 3 games. I think he's under contract for or something this year, but I think that was a little much. But you know, you expected that from Tim Hudson these days.
Oh, Freddie.
He said it with love.
Yeah, I love his teeth. I like his new teeth. He's working with.
Well, let's see if the Braves can get some of this stuff back. Markakis, Freeman, and Garcia coming up. Martinez has to get through the 5th inning with the lead to qualify for the win. Seven runs, 8 hits for the Cardinals, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Bravos. Both teams have committed 2 errors.
See if we can't get his pitch count up and Maybe get him out of here after this inning. Get in that bullpen and start putting up some crooked numbers.
78 pitches. The tally for Martinez to this point. We did not have a 1-2-3 inning to this point. That's to first. Moss will take it himself. And Markakis rolls out to start the Atlanta fifth. Braves face the Nationals in our next series. Washington's game was postponed today. Bitterly cold weather all up and down the East Coast today. And that game has been rescheduled for mid-May. A split doubleheader with the Nationals and Marlins. As Freddie skies one toward Holiday in left and in foul ground. He makes a good running catch. You made the point, Joe. He's leaner and meaner in left. That probably saved him on that play.
Cat-like quickness there. Never known for his glove work, but he had a good jump on that. Nice play.
And here's Garcia 0 for 2.
Supposed to get down to 28 degrees tonight in D.C.
Yeah, it's not prime baseball weather.
No.
So bring your woolies on the road trip.
Yeah, how about the game in Detroit? Yankees won today 8-4. They had to scrape snow and ice off the field to get it ready for play today.
No kidding.
Yeah. Makes you wonder about the schedule makers. Do they not think the weather will be freezing cold in early April in places like Detroit?
Yeah, but you know what? You can't have all home games in the South, meaning you're going to be playing all on the road in October.
Second half.
To make up for it.
Line toward the seats in right, foul, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Cardinals go home and play Milwaukee, and they have their home opener Monday and have a day off Tuesday just in case the weather's bad.
They're excited. Lou Brock will throw out the ceremonial first pitch. One ball, 2 strikes for Adonis. And poked foul. And out of play. Missing Mike Shannon make the trip to St. Louis. Mike's going to be doing the home portion of the Cardinals radio schedule this year. Mike, a great broadcaster, great Cardinal, beloved by the fans of the Redbirds. And we look forward to seeing him later this summer. As we do have our first 1-2-3 inning of the game. Martinez picks up strikeout number 5. We're off to the 6th. to Washington, D.C., courtesy of our friends at Delta Airlines. Mac Honey right now is portioning out the exact number of blueberries for each fruit cup that we have on the plane. Mac is exceptionally good at doing that. And don't forget, friends, the Chipper Rescues Freddy ATV bobblehead night is coming. Chris Stapleton in concert. The 1991 NLCS replica ring giveaway are just a few of the great giveaways and events planned this year as part of the season-long celebration of our final year at Turner Field. Check a full calendar of Braves events at braves.com/promotions and get your tickets today. Second frame for Alexi Ogando. He's got the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Cardinals up. Cardinals have scored on each of their last 4 innings. And it sailed inside, ball 1. Moss has been around the block. This is not his first rodeo with the Cardinals. That one's hit to left. There's the first out. In fact, the Cardinals his 6th major league team. He's played with the Red Sox, Pirates, Phillies, A's, and Indians.
Had a pretty good year for the A's a couple years ago, didn't he?
He did. I think it was an all-star for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2013 hit 30 homers. 25 homers with Oakland in 14. 19 homers between Cleveland and St. Louis last year.
Did you enjoy your time in Oakland?
I did. Actually, my first team, obviously.
Yeah, man, you guys had a really good team too.
We did. We had some success. Had a fun team. We were all young, excited to be in the big league, so it made for some exciting times.
0-1 for Stephen Piscotty. Of course, Tim, so much of Braves country is looking ahead to the future with what has been stockpiled with the Braves. You were one of those future type pitchers along with Mr. Zito and Mr. Mulder. What was that experience like as a young player making your way through the minor leagues with Oakland, knowing so much was expected of you and knowing that you as a member of that terrific trio had such great young talent?
Well, you know, it was exciting getting drafted by an organization that you knew they were going to give you an opportunity. They were going to give you an opportunity to come up and try to prove yourself at the big league level. And, you know, obviously Oakland didn't have a lot of money to give out and spend on a lot of free agents, so they tried to build within the organization. And you know, it was a time where they struck lightning in a bottle and got 3 guys in consecutive drafts to come up and anchor a rotation for 4 or 5 years for them. And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun out there, and we played played with the big boys for a small market team.
Yeah.
So
with all this talent that the Braves have, I keep saying percolating in the minor leagues, that they're hoping some will work their way up this year, maybe not to the big leagues level, but through the organization. Is that one of those things that as a former pitcher now that you're like us anticipating seeing just how good these guys are?
It is. It's exciting. A lot of the trades that was made over the last couple of years, some of the talent they got in return is just some tremendous talent. And, they may not be household names right now for some of the Braves fans, but they're going to be, and that's what's going to be really exciting for this city and the fans here in Atlanta. You just got to be patient. You got to let these guys develop in the minor leagues a little bit, and when you see these guys come up, you're like, okay, this is, these are the guys we traded Andrelton Simmons for, and Kimbrel, and it's just going to be exciting to see what happens, what unfolds, and you just got to be patient and let these kids come up and develop, and then whenever they come up here, support them and give them every opportunity to be successful at this level. I think that's the one thing with young guys is you want them to come up, you want to try to help them be successful, but also let them know that you believe in them and let them know that you're dependent on them to help you win ball games.
And that there's going to be some bumps in the road too, and just they trust their ability and know that the next day is going to be better.
Sure, there are going to be bumps in the road, but I think the one thing with young guys is even though there are bumps in the roads coming, you got to let them know that you still believe in them, and you still have confidence as an organization and as a manager that you still have confidence in these young guys to go out there and get the job done at this level. And You know, for us as young guys when we were in Oakland, that was one big reason why we were successful, because we knew that the organization was relying on us to go out there and win. And you know, we didn't have to constantly look over our shoulder, wondering if we were going to get sent down or wondering if we were going to get taken out of the game.
Yeah, that's huge.
It was like, here, kid, this, you know, here's the ball and the game's yours, and let's win it. You know, and that's all you needed to know as a young player.
2-2 pitch, skied to right by Molina, and Ogando has a 1-2-3 inning. First of the night for the Braves defense.
Yellowwood, bring in the lumber. Guys, we will keep talking about the future this whole season because it is bright, and you got 3 quality starts at 3 different levels from Aaron Blair, Sean Newcomb, and Max Fried.
Yeah, thanks, Kelsey. Those are the minor league starts tonight for that trio. Gwinnett, by the way, is walloping Norfolk tonight, 11-3. The Mississippi Braves are tied 2-2 with Pensacola, and Rome lost 4-3 to Augusta. And that'll be a continuing theme all year long for us. We will certainly keep an eye on the happenings down in the minor leagues, not just for the pitchers, but for the position players too, and most notably Dansby Swanson and Ozzie Albies, who really opened some eyes this spring training for Atlanta.
Yeah, as I said the other night, I can't imagine that Dansby Swanson's going to be in A ball for very long. Just get a few ABs, get some games under his belt, and I would guess that he'll be promoted quickly.
He had 20 some odd games as a professional last year.
Yeah, right after he got drafted.
Ground ball to second into the shift. Wong from the outfield grass gets AJ.
He went to Arizona, where they send all their draft choices to work out before they get assigned a team, and I want to say it was his first round of batting practice, maybe his first time in the cage, and one of his teammates hit him right in the face. So he was out of commission for a while, didn't get a lot of playing time. I think he played about 20 games, as you said, and that was about it. But for those that saw him play this spring, including Chipper, they agreed that he's quite a nice pickup for the Braves in that deal.
Kelly Johnson's 0 for 2 tonight, getting the start in left for Atlanta. You can see why the Cardinals like this guy so very much. And now that he's he's been given a large lead. He'll try to have a couple more easy innings.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this be his last one. Approaching 100 pitches, given his shoulder problems a year ago. They certainly don't want to run the risk of stressing him out too much in his first outing.
He's not real happy with his command tonight. It has not been an easy game for him. As we take a look at tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. With Wainwright out last year, Cardinals got a lift from 2 young starters.
Garcia that we saw last night, Martinez tonight. That was from May 21st to the end of the season.
They definitely picked up the rotation with Wainwright going down with that Achilles injury.
Well, here's an area of the game where the Braves have to find a little magic during tonight's play. In the first 3 games, the Braves have a grand total of 4 hits from the 6th inning to the end of the game. And that one's going to be speared by the pitcher. Got to hurry to get Stubbs, who can fly. It's double play. And the 6th inning is in the books. A couple of double plays turned by the Cardinal defense. Martinez with a 5-run lead. Let's see if the Braves challenge this play at first base. Ed Mangan and the grounds crew ready to come out and manicure the infield. Freddie Gonzalez says no review. Stubbs is out. So are the Braves. We're off to the 7th.
Is sponsored by the Works Turbine Blower, the fastest way to clean up your yard. It's work season.
With Joe Simpson and former Brave star Tim Hudson. Chip Carey back at the ballpark. We head to the 7th inning. New pitcher on for Atlanta. It's Jose Ramirez. And he's got a big arm. Was out of options this spring. And he can really bring it. Command always a question. Let's see how he fares with Colton Wong, the Cardinals' 7th place hitter. Ogando went 2 innings, gave up a couple of runs. The Braves couldn't turn a double play, which cost him dearly. Wong's been on the base paths 3 times tonight, 2 singles. He's scored a couple of runs. Good looking young player for the Cardinals. A double-digit home run hitter for the last couple of seasons.
And he was a high draft pick.
Yes. from Hawaii.
Tell you, this Ramirez, if he throws strikes, he can be quite a pickup.
Up the middle, Jace Peterson. Couldn't get much on the throw. Wong with his good speed, legs out an infield hit, his third hit of the game.
It's a tough play right there for the second baseman going to his right.
Yeah, about the only chance they might have had is if Ibar could have gotten to it.
Yeah.
Kept his momentum going.
That's right.
That's popped back toward us and just to our left and into the upper tank.
Well, it looks like the Riders are working with the windows closed for the most part again today.
No, Adrian Midgley caught it.
Of course she did. The window was open and she's the only one over there that has hands that are good enough to catch the ball.
Yeah, she's the only one tough enough to
exactly
deal with the elements. You know, all the Riders are over there behind the windows with their heaters.
Well, as soon as the foul ball comes back their way, they're under their desk too.
That's right.
Yeah, Brad Hange nowhere to be found. Jonathan Kerber hiding behind the glass in his computer screen and a heater over there.
Yeah.
There's Adrian.
There's Miss Adrian.
She's the athlete of the bunch.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
And fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And then, of course, Brian Giffen, Grandma Giffen from the Braves radio network, their engineer and producer, knowing that we're talking with Adrian, walked over so he can get some face time on TV.
Whatever it takes to get some airtime.
Yep. Yeah. By the way, Brian is the voice of Kennesaw State football. So hopefully you got to see the face as that one's right back through the box. 2 on, nobody out. Cardinals doing it with a ton of singles tonight. All of their hits, with the exception of 1, are singles. They have 10 hits in total. And here's Matt Adams. He will pinch hit for Martinez. Good call, Joe. That's the end of the line for the Cardinals starter on a very cold night. Adams is 27, 23rd round pick. And had a big cut, didn't get it. Strike 1.
Quick trip again by AJ with the rookie pitcher to straighten the signs out. I don't know if he got crossed up there, but a reminder with a runner at second what the signs would be.
Tim, your career spanned a long time in the major leagues, and it seems like it has spanned a dramatic shift in how the game is played. Not from a sabermetric standpoint, but from a point that Joe made last night. There's not nearly as much power, it seems, in Major League Baseball now than there was when you started playing.
Yeah.
That's what would make guys like Adams so very valuable, huh?
Yeah, you know, it was when I first came up, you know, there was every team would have 2 or 3 guys, you know, in the 40 home run category, maybe 1 in the 50. And you know, the game has shifted, obviously, you know, with the drug testing nowadays, and we keep getting a handle on that. I think the game has shifted more to the small ball, base hits, fast, you know, bunting, those sort of things. So it's you know, it's more of a traditional baseball style right now. It's not the gorilla ball back in the late 90s and early 2000s. So but you know, Matt Adams, he's a big strong guy. I mean, he's, you know, he can hit the ball out of any ballpark on any day. And
Cardinals are banking on him staying healthy and in the lineup, something he couldn't do last year, Joe.
My point last night, Tim, was that in the past, guys like Adams, who might be one-dimensional, just kind of a slugger type, DH type almost, they didn't get drafted very high. People might not like their bodies because they didn't look athletic. I think that's about to shift. Those kind of guys are going to come at a premium now, and they're going to start getting drafted higher because of the lack of that type of player at this level.
There is, it's the big strong. I mean, obviously he's a guy who's has that natural ability to come up and hit the ball out of the ballpark. I don't know what his work ethic is or how much time he spends in the weight room, but I bet you he's just naturally strong. I bet you he's been a guy that's always been able to hit the ball long ways, regardless of what level he's been at.
High fly to right, just missed it.
Yeah.
Markakis with the catch. Wong will tag at second and move to third. It's funny how baseball comes full circle. I don't think if the magazine existed back in the day that Babe Ruth would have been on the cover of Muscle and Fitness. but his career turned out okay, didn't it?
He did all right.
So Adams with a productive out, chases Wong to third base, and we go back to the top, and Matt Carpenter first and third for the Cardinals here in the 7th.
It definitely is shifting more towards traditional style of baseball players, fast, athletic. So it's it's exciting style.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm enjoying watching it. A premium on speed.
And that creates a whole other set of problems for you guys on the mound, huh?
It does. It does. Obviously when I came from the American League over to the National League, it was a different style of baseball. I came from a league where you could cruise for 3 or 4 innings and all of a sudden give up a 6-run inning just because the lineups were just so explosive for long balls. Whereas when I came over here to Atlanta, I would feel like I had a pretty good game and give up 3 or 4 hits, maybe 5 hits, but give up 2 or 3 runs because teams were manufacturing runs a lot more. They were, you have a leadoff walk, they're going to hit and run or bunt them over the second. Next thing you know, ground ball, through the infield, scores a run. So, whereas over in the American League, 1 through 9, they're trying to knock the fences down. They were trying to hit the ball out of the park. And those bigger swings would play into my hand a little better because, I wanted guys trying to, have big swings off of me and take me deep because I felt like my sinker and split and just changing the speeds, I'd have a better chance of getting them out. But a young kid who's, has bat control and wants to put the ball in play, those were the guys that gave me a little bit of trouble.
1 ball, 1 strike for Matt Carpenter. St. Louis led 2-0 in the second. They have led ever since. And over here, I'm sure very well, big advantage is you have the 8th and 9th place hitter over here. 9th place hitter most of the time in our league is the pitcher, so that's almost a free out.
It is a free out most of the time, but a lot of times it's a productive out. Whether they're bunting the balls, bunting the ball and getting the run, getting the runners in the scoring position, or a squeeze play here or there. If you go to the American League, you have a number 9 hole hitter who may be sitting on 20 homers. He's going to try to drive the ball. In a situation where there might be first and second, 1 out, you have the 9 hole hitter up there. Instead of him bunting guys over to get in scoring position, he's swinging away, and next thing you know, he's hitting you into a double play, getting you out of an inning, getting you out of a jam. Whereas over here, the pitcher's going to get him over, and you got leadoff hitter coming up to bloop a base hit or get a base hit through the hole, and you're scoring 2 runs.
Or like tonight, Martinez with 2 RBIs. Your boy Bumgarner with a home run today off Kershaw.
See, we don't need a DH.
No,
right?
I'll tell you what, pitchers that are able to handle the bat is such an advantage for that team. Whether it's bunting, hitting and running, just having productive outs for a National League pitcher is something that's just such an advantage. And you look at some of the teams that are having success in this league nowadays, they're going to have a staff that can handle the bat pretty well.
What was harder for you, being an outfielder pitcher at Auburn and going to the American League where you didn't hit, or coming from the American League to the National League where you had to, for lack of a better way of putting it, relearn all those skills?
Definitely the latter of the two. I think coming from the American League back to Atlanta, Everybody, when I was at Auburn, they were like, man, Huddy's coming back to the National League. We get to watch him hit. And I was like, well, you got to remember, I'm 6 years. I haven't hit in 6 years, and I'm using a wood bat now. So it's not like
and it's big league pitching.
And it's big league. Yeah, you have guys 94 on your hands. It's not real fun. And so it was. That was definitely more challenging for sure. Coming back over here.
That's high. Runner at first takes off because it's ball 4. Carpenter is aboard again, and the Cardinals have him loaded again. And here's that man again, Mr. Hazelbaker.
Second time tonight with him loaded.
First time he hit a sac fly to left for his 3rd RBI. He's also scored a run and stolen a base. Hazelbaker hit 3 homers and knocked in 10 runs this spring. That opened up some eyes for the Cardinals. Ramirez, a ground ball perhaps away from getting out of this inning. But you really took your hitting seriously for the points you were talking about. I mean, you'd like to have fun like everybody else, but I don't remember you ever in your time with the Braves not really nose to the grindstoning it in that batting cage for pitchers batting practice.
Yeah, you should take it seriously. I mean, you have a job out there to do, even though, as pitchers, we're not expected to do too much offensively out there, but, we're expected to get bunts down. We're expected to do our job when the manager calls upon us. And, if you're not working on it, then you're essentially hurting the team. So you can go out there and take it seriously. And, some guys obviously hit a little better than others, but there's no reason why you can't get down a bunt.
I couldn't believe when I first came this organization how hard the Braves worked with their pitchers. Jim Beecham, Jimmy Williams, 2 coaches who primarily worked with them a lot in the cages, but outside, of course, on their bunting too. But I think that's what made Tom Glavine, Maddox, Smoltz, Avery, all those guys, Pete Smith, all those guys very effective when they were asked to do something, put a bunt down or put the ball in play. They were effective at it, and it certainly helped them win a lot of ball games.
Yeah, they took pride in it. I know when I came over here, Smoltz, was, he wanted to hit. He was a hitter. Smoltz was a great athlete, and one thing that he tried to do when he was out there pitching was when he came up to hit, he was trying to do whatever he could to get his job done, whether it was drive in a run or get a bunt down or get a base hit to start an inning. He was. He did a great job in that. The Braves have always had good hitting pitchers. There's no question about it.
That one pops away from A.J. Runners move up. Another run is in on a ball in the dirt. Wong has scored his 3rd run tonight.
3rd wild pitch of the night for the Braves.
I mean, A.J.'s riding a bucking bronco back there tonight.
That one got the shin guard. He was trying to take it off the chest protector, but it got the shin guard instead.
Old fella's going to need some Advil and some ice.
Whew. Yeah.
So it's 8-2 St. Louis. Cardinals scored 7 runs in their series with the Pirates. They have 8 tonight. And the infield comes in, and Hazelbaker is not going easily, is he? He has seen a ton of pitches.
Well, remember on that 0-2 sacrifice fly that he delivered in the 5th inning, he fouled off a ton of pitches. That was against Ogando.
He's been grinding out the at-bats, having some quality ones.
Ramirez heats him up upstairs at 95 miles an hour, and there's out number 2. Matt Holliday is 0 for 4. A rare 0 for Holliday in this ballpark, who's hitting an astounding .372 for his career at Turner Field. And as long as he has played and the pitchers against whom he has faced here, that is a very impressive number.
Do you know why he's hit that well? because he can hit.
Oh.
Yeah. Sure, I might have helped him out in that area a little bit when I was here.
Talking about him being a little trimmer, though, you know, at his age, what'd you say, 36?
36, yep.
36 now. Leg injuries that plagued him last year. He missed a lot of time. You know, maybe that was his motivation. You know, I can't carry as much weight as I have in the past. I'm not getting any younger. I need to slim down a little bit and try to stay out of the training room.
That's true. The older you get, the easier it is to put on the pounds. And you know, aches and pains creep up on you a little more as you get on the wrong side of 30.
High hopper, that's trouble. High bar charges, gloves, grabs, guns, got him by a quarter step. And Holiday's run of bad luck continues here in the St. Louis 7th inning. The Cardinals push across another run. Mike Matheny is going to make a double switch as the Braves come up after the stretch. 8-2 St. Louis in game 2. ATL continues tonight. That's Matthew Kaminsky, the great organist here at Turner Field, doing the 7th inning stretch here tonight at Turner Field. Braves fans, become an A-list member today and get multiple ticket options and exclusive benefits customized to meet your unique needs. Call now to secure the best seats for the final year at Turner Field and the first season at SunTrust Park. Don't miss out on being an A-list member today. Go to Braves.com/A-list or call 404-577-9100. Matthew's one of the best in the business. Great job here keeping the crowd entertained. Hello, Matthew. It's 8-2 St. Louis. Couple of changes for the Cardinals now. New pitcher is Tyler Lyons. He'll take the place of Carlos Martinez, who worked 6 innings of 2-run ball.
Good numbers last year, strikeout per inning. Seems like every one of their guys out of the pen late in the ball game, or late inning guys, same thing.
That one back up the middle. Nice play. Diaz at short makes the grab.
He's a big league player right there.
Big league play indeed. And there's the first out. Adams stays in the game to play first base, by the way. Moss has moved to left, and there's the slick glove work of the Cuban sensation for the Cardinals.
Boy, he was really cool on that, and then once he gloved it, took his time, made sure he made a good throw.
Jeff Francoeur will bat with 1 man out, base is empty. Wonder if we'll see Jeff in the lineup against Adam Wainwright tomorrow. Francoeur with his 3rd at bat. And looking for his first hit. Jeff had a terrific year with the Phillies last year. Many of those successful at bats in situations just like this against opposing left-handed pitchers.
Oh, that one got hurt. Took a bite out of Molina.
I'll tell you, it's nice to see Frenchie back in a Braves uniform.
Sure is.
Oh, right biceps.
Oh.
That's what they got ice for.
Spoken like a true pitcher.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Jeff laid off. Jeff had 11 pinch hits last year with the Phillies. Hit .367 off the bench. And it's not to be this time. The sweeping slider across the shoe tops takes care of Francoeur, and that's out number 2. Hope you'll stay tuned afterward. We'll recap all of tonight's action. Join skipper Freddie Gonzalez and join the clubhouse to hear from the players on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Jerome, Matt Diaz, holding forth in our ballpark studio right above the Braves bullpen. Braves Live presented by Xfinity after the game tonight. Game led by the Cardinals 8-2.
3rd inning's been good to the Braves last 2 nights. All 4 of their runs and all 5 of their hits in the game last night came in the 3rd inning. And tonight, both of their runs and 3 of their 4 hits came in the 3rd inning. They're going to have to start spreading it around a little bit.
4 hits from the 6th inning on all year for Atlanta, and none beginning with the 6th inning tonight. Ibar has a hit, a walk, and 1 of the 2 Braves runs, and he hits a high hopper to 3rd. Carpenter's got it. The toss across in plenty of time, and Lyons with a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 7th.
Baseball is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers, Let's Go Places, and the Georgia Lottery.
Well, praise the Lord. That's T.W. Lord, a Braves season ticket holder for 47 years. And he had the honors tonight of peeling back a number for the countdown to SunTrust Park. So, Mr. Lord, we thank you so much for your loyal fandom of the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, that's great. Nice that the team asked him to come do it. You seen this guy, Tim?
I have. This is very interesting.
John Gant, with his funky delivery, has made all kinds of news around the major leagues, something that players haven't seen before. John's delivery actually made news in England. One of the English newspapers did a story on John Gant and his unorthodox delivery. So saw John before the game and mentioned that to him. I think it was the Daily Mail in London. And he said, must have been a real slow news day in England.
Yeah. Put another shrimp on the bobby.
Yeah, right. Well, here he is.
He's got a nice changeup. It got hit pretty hard last night when Garcia took him deep on it. But you had an outstanding split finger pitch, Tim. It's just that this guy's got it between his ring finger and middle finger.
It's like a Vulcan grip.
That's what he calls it.
Yeah.
Joe, should I lay it on him?
Sure.
You know, the key to getting that Vulcan pitch over,
yeah,
you have to hit your Spocks.
Well played.
It's 8-2 in the 8th. What do you want? Come on.
I'm fully entertained.
$33,471 brave the cool weather tonight. As Brandon Moss digs in here in the 8th inning. And he rips one into the right field corner. Moss will have an extra base hit. Markakis has to dig it out. And the Cardinals have their 11th hit. 9 of their 11 hits have been singles. That one a ringing double down the line. It wouldn't surprise me, with all the talk in the National League Central about the Pirates and the Cubs and the Cardinals, who lost John Lackey and Jason Hayward in the offseason, if they come into this season with a gigantic chip on their shoulders, if to say, you know what, we won the division last year with all those injuries, won 100 games, by the way. There aren't many experts who are picking Mike Matheny's club to repeat.
I'm one of them.
I know you love the Pirates.
I do like the Pirates. The thing for the Cardinals, they've got to keep their pitchers healthy, got to keep their rotation healthy. They've already lost one guy in Lance Lynn. They can't afford any more. They've got a great bullpen. Love their bullpen.
Well, one thing the Cardinals can match up with the Cubs is, I would imagine, financial flexibility. The Cardinals sell out almost every game. They draw 3 million fans. Great ballpark and all that comes with that. With their farm system and that financial wherewithal, I would imagine if somebody wants to unload a quality starting pitcher, the Cardinals could be first or second in line for that potential deal if they need it.
Yeah, if they need it. The thing about St. Louis's club, I'm not basing this 100% on what I've seen for the last 3 days, but Molina, Carpenter, and Holiday, they're 3 veteran guys all on the left side. Everybody else, and I know Peralta will be back at some point, and that'll be like picking up a trade at the deadline. But everybody else is somewhat unproven, and even Colton Wong, he's only got 1 year under his belt. Everybody else, they need to play well. And that includes this guy, who was very good last year in a short sample size. I like him a lot, but it remains to be seen what he can do over the course of 162.
Swing and a miss by Piscotty. That was a nasty pitch. And Gant has another strikeout. There's the first out of the inning. Follow Braves baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. And, of course, the other wild card is injury. If they lose this guy for an extended period of time, if they lose Holiday again for an extended period of time, that would be disastrous, I think, for the Cardinals. Although they overcame it last year. But they had Lackey and they had Hayward. Base hit the other way by Molina. Here comes a runner around third after a stumble. Throw to the plate is going to be late. And Yadier Molina with a base hit the other way makes it a 7-run game. It's 9-2.
Well, my comment is meant as no disrespect to those other players. It's just that they've got to show what they've got. They got to show what they can do, rather.
Well, I was going to say, the motto of the state of Missouri is show me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's just not much of a track record to look back on with some of these guys, and it remains to be seen if they can do it over the long term.
Pinch runner for the Cardinals is Eric Fryer. As Yadier Molina's night is done. Fryer was not their original choice to be Molina's backup. That was former Brave Brian Pena. And Pena got hurt this spring. Had to have a loose body removed from his knee, and he's lost for a few weeks to start the year. So in a game where the Cardinals have a big lead, give Molina some rest. We'll see if he's going to play day game after the night game tomorrow for the Cardinals. Big night for Colton Wong tonight. 3 hits, 3 runs. And that's out of play, foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Cubs lead Arizona 4-1 in the 7th. Zach Greinke started that game for Arizona. Phillies beat the Mets on what had to have been a frigid night in New York, 1-0. That was Vince Velasquez and Bartolo Colon. Houston leads Milwaukee 6-4. That game's in the 9th.
Is Velasquez the guy they got from Houston?
1 of 5. Yeah.
For Giles.
Giles, who has not pitched very well for the Astros yet. He's given up some home runs.
And they're using him in the 8th inning.
Yeah. That raised some eyebrows in Houston and around Major League Baseball. You trade 5 guys for a closer and you don't have him close.
Yeah. It's a bit strange for sure.
Wong's perfect night at the plate, as far as reaching base is concerned, is over. He's now 3 for 5. And there's the second out. Seen Gant do this. He'll give up some hits and then strike out the side.
Yeah.
That's what he did last night.
He just got him with that Vulcan pitch.
2 homers, 3 strikeouts last night.
Aledmus Diaz. Have to pause. I'm so used to saying Matt Diaz. It is Diaz. For the Cardinal shortstop. He's reached base 3 times and scored once.
Now, obviously, working out of the stretch, Gant can't do a double leg pump, so he just kind of picks his heel up a little bit as he's trying to calm his left leg down.
Yeah. He's got the twitch.
Headed for the gap in right center. That's going to roll for a while. Fryer around second. They're going to wave him. He's going to score. Diaz with a sliding triple. Boy, he's had a huge series. And the Cardinals have erupted in Atlanta. It's now a 10-2 game.
A single, a triple, a homer in 2 nights for Diaz.
Just left it over the middle of the plate, up in the zone. really supposed to do with those balls right there.
And Joe, the way this one's going, I'll take care of the double for him.
Yes, you will.
10 runs on 13 Cardinal hits. And got a piece of AJ at the plate. And now 1-2. And hope you'll join us tomorrow afternoon. Wainwright versus Perez. And a swing and a miss. Retires the side. 2 runs, 3 more hits for the Cardinals.
The Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Nick Markakis leads off the 8th for the Braves, who have 4 hits. Nick has 1 of them. An RBI double in the Braves' 3rd inning. Fryer stays in the game. He's behind the plate for Molina. And Lyons works a 2nd inning for the Cardinals.
Hey.
One of the change for the Cardinals, Greg Garcia's checked in at 3rd base. He hit a homer last night.
He and Wong were kind of a package deal. They played together at Hawaii. Garcia was a 7th round pick and the son of a great baseball man, Dave Garcia.
To center. And Markakis is retired. Yeah, life's tough. You got to go to college at Hawaii.
Right.
Hang with them. Tomorrow, Game 3 of the series. Braves and Cardinals wrap things up with coverage starting at 1 Eastern on Fox Sports South, home of the Braves, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It's April in the ATL, presented by Cook's Pest Control. All right, Tim, it's getting late.
Yeah.
Here in Atlanta. It's Freddie Freeman bats. We haven't even had a chance to talk with you about what had to be the most magical moment of your baseball career, and that's starting Game 7 of the World Series and ultimately watching your teammates earn you a World Series ring. Can you describe that moment?
Yeah, you know what? It was. I mean, it was something that you dream about as a player. Obviously, you play a long time and you have a chance to make the playoffs a few years, and obviously, the older you get, you can see that window of opportunity closing as a player, and get out there and have a chance to start Game 7 of the World Series. And that was the one time, in my career where, your emotions are almost, they're not quite out of control, but you have to really harness those things a little bit when you're out there, especially for an older guy that, it was exciting. You have the big fella, the big left-hander coming out of the bullpen, holding it down for us. And, I obviously didn't pitch as long as I would have liked to have in that game, but, coming into that game, I knew that,
There's a shot to right. Cardinals, though, played Freeman deep. And there's out number 2.
But, coming into the Game 7, obviously all hands on deck. And, when a starting pitcher gets in a jam, you got to come and get them out of it. And it became a cheerleader on the bench. And it was, it was something that, obviously the baseball gods were in line with me that season, and have an opportunity to go back out to San Francisco and, win that World Series was, it was something that, I could retire a happy man.
Did you even feel your feet when you were walking down to take your bullpen before the start to get loose for the game? I mean,
yeah, it was the only other time in my career where I felt, more nerves or as many nerves was my big league debut. That was the only thing that was very similar in the emotions that I was feeling. And I was out there during the first inning, just telling myself to slow down my breathing, calm down, relax, and you just let it happen.
Well, it sure happened for you and the Giants. It's an even-numbered year. A lot of folks think the Giants will be back in the Fall Classic. We'll see if that happens. 10-2 after 8.
And Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
All Cardinals in Game 2 tonight. We were talking with Tim Hudson a moment ago about the pinnacle of any major leaguer's career. The standing ovation, the walk down the golden carpet. Larry Baer hands you the World Series ring.
Where have you got that baby posted?
I have it in my safe at home. Yeah. It's I could be the only player in the history to ever win his first World Series and missize the ring. It's too big. How about that, huh?
How did that happen?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, a little tape.
Yeah. We got to figure something out.
Do you wear it at special occasions?
You know, I've worn it one time, and it's just a little too big for me. I'm scared it's going to fall off my fingers.
You know how we can fix that?
How's that?
If you become a broadcaster, you'll get really, really fat, and that thing will fit in about 2 months, right?
Yeah, a few Hershey Kisses right over here right now.
Get started.
You know, it's funny. That's what my brother told me when I told him it was too big. He said, you know, you're retired now. You're probably going to get fat like me. And, you know, so.
So was that moment when you walked out on the golden carpet and the crowd goes nuts in San Francisco? You're wearing the special commemorative uniform with the gold stuff inside the numbers and Giants script. And Larry Baer, terrific executive with the Giants. Are you looking at him or are you looking at that box saying, hand it over, pal?
Man, I was looking at the box. I was like, let me see this thing. Let me check it out. And you know what? It was a classy ring. They done a great job with it. And, you know, I need to figure out how to get it on my fingers and get it to stay. You know, it's funny. After we had it, we threw baseballs out to the fans, you know, as a token. And I had my ring on. I tossed the ball up to the fans, and they almost got a souvenir World Series ring with it. You know, I had to hold on to it real fast.
Pretty good chance that one wasn't going back, right?
I was going to jump in the stands and get it.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, on that was that the day that Madison Bumgarner rode in on the horse with the World Championship flag? And if so, was there? I mean, you're a country guy. You could have ridden the horse too, right?
I'm not as country as him.
No.
No, he's a cowboy, man. I'm telling you, never seen anything like it. I mean, for goodness sakes, he ropes cows during spring training out in Arizona.
Does he?
Yeah, he trailers his horses out there. Him and his wife, they trailer, you know, 5 or 6 horses.
From North Carolina?
From North Carolina, him and her family, her mom and dad. And, yeah, I think baseball is kind of a side thing for him in spring training.
Yeah, I caution to say that, but I think I read somewhere that for a wedding gift for his wife, I think he got her a steer or something like that.
He got her a milking cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny, but
true love.
I heard that, and I was like, man, what is wrong with this guy? But after I spent some time with him and got to know him and her, it totally made sense, and it didn't seem weird to me at all after I got to know him. And they're great people, and you know, Kim and I, we really got to develop a close relationship with both of them over the last 2 years, and it was fun getting to know them.
There was also that story that I've loved telling and repeating, that I don't know if it was a myth or a legend type story, but I hope it was true, about the Giants bus breaking down in Denver between the airport and town, and he got out while the Giants were waiting for a replacement bus and fixed it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He got off the bus and flipped the hood. I'm not sure what he done under there, but you know, he did something that most country boys know how to do. I couldn't really tell you.
I heard he said to the bus driver,
yeah,
try it.
Yeah. So you hit that switch right there when I tell you to, and it'll crank, you know, or something like that.
Unbelievable. 3-2. Now, what would, if you had said, all right, Kim, we're going to get married, I'm going to give you a dairy cow for a wedding present, what would the lovely Kim Hudson have said?
You know, I'm not quite. I mean, she loves me, but I'm not quite sure how that one's going to go over.
And you know, she's a lawyer by trade.
Oh, that's right.
There might have been an annulment.
Yeah.
Well, I know our fans, as happy as they are to hear from you tonight. How are Kim and the kids doing? We haven't even talked about
They're doing great. They're doing great. I have the girls here with me with a couple of their friends, and Kim and Kate are at home watching us on TV. So I'd like to say hi to her and then my boy there, and it's but they're doing awesome, man. I'm coaching Cade's. Oh geez, there it is.
Oh, that's right. That's a nice salute. The Giants on their final road trip.
Yeah.
Gave it the Tim Hudson look.
I guess I wore the white polo a little too often during the season.
It looks like
it. I guess that was my costume.
It's a pretty tight-knit group out there, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? It's a special group of guys, and you know, they enjoy playing together, and they know how to win ball games together. You know, come playoff time, you know, they know how to get it done, and you know, it was fun to see it. It was fun to, you know, you always see it from across the dugout, but it was nice to see it firsthand in the locker room, and you know, on that big stage of playoff baseball, they expect to win.
I was going to say, what's it like going into a locker room like that for the first time as a new player? In some ways, like when you came here, it's got to be somewhat intimidating because of the success the Braves had and the success that the Giants have had.
Sure. Well, you know, with that, just you see the confidence in the locker room and on the field. And once we got in the playoffs, you know, I felt like the rookie on the team, even though I was the oldest on the team by far. You know, I'm looking around and I'm seeing all these guys, you know, just walking around with confidence, and you know, I'm sitting over there, you know, twiddling my thumbs and thinking, all right, guys, you know, I hope we're ready to play. And you know, Madison, he'd look at me, our lockers were beside each other. He's like, what are you worried about, man? We're going to win. You know, it's what we do come October. I was like, I hope you're right. You know.
Grilly strikes out Hazelbaker after walking Garcia to start the inning.
Well, one of my favorite players you played with the last 2 years, the praying mantis, Hunter Pence.
Man, I'm going to tell you, he's a special guy. He really is, in every sense of the word. I mean, because you know, just what he brings to a team, you know, in the locker room is just something that you can't even put a dollar sign on. I mean, he's the most positive guy you'll ever be around, and he's always trying to figure out ways to get his teammates motivated. You know, you never see him without a cup of coffee in his hand. So
a lot of energy.
I mean, that's why when you look at him, his eyes look like they're about to pop out of his head, because they probably are. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, but you know what? He's a great teammate, plays hard, and you know, he's like our mascot, man. If we needed a team meeting or something, man, he was the first one to call it, and I would just sit back in my locker and just watch him do his thing and just smile, because it was something that was very cool to watch him try to get his boys motivated to play.
1 ball, no strikes from Grilly to Randall Grichuk, pinch hitting for the Cardinals in the ninth. And there he
is.
Reason why we call him the praying mantis.
Good Lord.
Well, he's fun to watch. He plays with a lot of energy too, and he's a darn good player.
Yeah, he is that.
Yeah, when he went out, that was really a crippling blow for the Giants last year, wasn't it?
It was. You know, he just meant so much to our club, and we lost him for a significant amount of time last year. And, but you know what? To his credit, he was, even though he wasn't on the field helping us play and win, you know, he was in that locker room, he was in that dugout, still doing his thing. He even raised it a couple of notches just because he knew that, you know, he couldn't bring anything on the field to help us win, but he did all he could in the locker room and in the dugout.
Well, the Giants have Pence back, they have Pagan back, and they have signed their entire infield to contract extensions. Belt, Panic, Duffy, and a guy that we also love, Carl Crawford. I mean, Brandon Crawford.
Yeah.
The terrific shortstop with the game-winning homer last night. I mean, the Giants have set themselves up for a really nice long run with homegrown players on that infield.
Maybe another good comparison to what the Braves are doing and working on right now.
Yeah, I think so. You know, they've you know, the Giants, they do things right out there, and the players that they have are homegrown, like you said, and they play hard. You know, they understand what kind of ball, you know, Bochy likes to play, and it's just a good group of guys. You know, they're very family oriented, and they love baseball, and they know how to win. It's pretty good combinations.
Not to mention, of course, some of our favorite broadcasters on that team too, and Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't have any fun, those two. 10-2 St. Louis. Chance for Jason Grilly to get an inning under his belt, get some pitches. Really remarkable what he's been able to come back from.
He needed this tonight. Braves certainly didn't need the drubbing they're getting, but I think Jason needed another outing under circumstances where the game's not on the line, to get some of the cobwebs out, feel a little more comfortable.
Grilly, of course, tore his Achilles last July in Denver. Vowed he'd be back for opening day. He did come back opening day. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for Jason or the Braves against the Nationals. But as Joe said, a low leverage inning for him. Throw some pitches, get a little more comfortable. Hopefully better results will follow soon. 3-0 pitch. That's right there for Brandon Moss.
Tim can relate, coming back from a bad injury after the broken ankle in New York.
Yeah, you know, it's great to see him back, and and back pitching again. Obviously, you have to be patient with it. I'm sure that he's healthy enough to be able to go out there and compete. But you wonder, how close to 100% is he a lot of times. And as a pitcher, you need your legs up under you, you need your feet up under you. And it took me about halfway through my first year in San Francisco to really feel confident on my right ankle. And but after that, it's obviously I think my right ankle feels better than my left one now. So yeah.
Well, I was telling the story last night of talking to Adam Wainwright. He suffered his Achilles injury in early May compared to Jason's in July of last season. So that gap in the calendar is the advantage that, from a healing standpoint, that Adam has. And Adam was working out yesterday, he had shorts on, and he was talking about his calf muscle on his left leg and how it shrinks, from atrophy when you're not able to use it when you have that type of injury. And he said, talking about his calves, he said one's for power, one's for speed.
Swing and a miss by Stephen Piscotty. I don't know the answer to this. I can't think of many pitchers who have come back from Achilles surgery. I mean, Wainwright obviously, Grilly another, but
it's strange. For a while that was kind of the injury that was hitting people. Mark Mulder, he tore his Achilles in spring training, making his comeback.
Right.
And then it was like, I'd never really even seen an Achilles tear in baseball for a lot of years, and all of a sudden there's 3 or 4 within a span of a year or two. So it's kind of
happens to great athletes.
Yeah, it does. They say it's the 40-year-old pickup basketball player injury.
Yeah, you're only off by about 20 years.
God, I wish.
in present company. 2 balls and a strike. And no swing. 3-1.
Seems like a very painful injury, though.
I've heard both sides. I lived one side of it. I didn't feel much of anything other than just kind of collapsed.
Yeah.
But I was able to walk back to the hotel, which was about 2 blocks away.
Wow.
A little floppy,
like
but
a flip-flop.
Yeah, but
it's funny. I talked to Mark Mulder after his, and he said that he felt like it was he felt like the heel of his shoe came unglued.
Right. That's what everybody thinks. Maybe somebody stepped on you.
Yeah.
And I thought the same thing. I thought somebody came down on me. For Jason, his was different. His was excruciating pain that we saw in his face.
Braves pitching staff has thrown 206 pitches tonight. That was the last by Grilly. Vizcaíno's on with the bases loaded.
Presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Chilly night in Atlanta, and fans, the Chipper rescues Freddie ATV bobblehead. Chris Stapleton in concert, the 91 NLCS replica ring giveaway are just a few of the great giveaways and events planned this year, part of our season-long celebration of our final year at Turner Field. Check a full calendar of Braves events at braves.com/promotions and get your tickets today. Jason Grilli walked the bases loaded, and he'll give way to Arodys Vizcaíno as we've reached 10:30 in Atlanta, with the Cardinals up 10-2.
Arodys needed some work too, unfortunately. Not under these circumstances, but just needs to get one out. Try to keep him sharp.
And he just sawed off Eric Fryer. Slow roller, high bar, throw to first, and in time. That one might be reviewed. I thought Fryer beat it. And Mike Matheny's going to take a look at this one. He wants to get his catcher and infield hit an RBI. Fryer got absolutely sawed off. And so the Cardinals take a look at the replay. We will too. It was a bang banger at first base. And yep, they're going to take a peek in an 8-run game.
Yeah, it's not even close.
No.
In the old days before replay, that might have been, it's a 10-2 game, boys.
There's no doubt about it, and I appreciate Mark Wegner's efforts.
However, as they say in television, the camera never blinks, and that one is going to be reversed. Fryer has an infield hit and an RBI. So that'll make it 11-2. Bet you didn't know it, but Fryer's favorite mascot was the San Diego Chicken.
I was just thinking about Fryer and Cardinal. Well, maybe you were going with the San Diego Padre.
So the bases remain loaded, 11-2. And Colton Wong skies one out of play. This was really the first game tonight where the Braves starting pitching wasn't up to snuff. We talked in our opening comments about how good Teheran, Norris, and Whistler had been in the first 3 games of the year, but it looked like Julio was very uncomfortable from the opening bell with 3 first-inning walks. A couple of long innings drove up his pitch count. He did not have a 1-2-3 frame and managed 4 innings tonight. And Garcia can't handle that hot shot at third base. It's 12-2. As the Braves commit their 3rd error of the game.
Keep in mind that in the 3rd inning, the Cardinals got a 3rd run when that ball was mishandled out in the outfield. Stubbs didn't see it in the twilight. Nick did everything he could to try to catch it. That made it 3-0. Bottom of the 3rd, Braves got 2 runs. It's 3-2. Need a shutdown inning. Julio didn't have his good stuff tonight. He went out in the top of the 4th, gave up back-to-back singles. They got 2 more runs, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, then when Ogando came on in the 5th, Taylor made double play ball, was botched. That led to a 2-run inning. And now Garcia with a muff at third base. And the Cardinals have a 10-run lead. They're not done yet. Aledmus Diaz is the hitter. He has singled and tripled tonight. He hit a home run last night. And a bouncing ball right at the third base bag will mercifully end the top of the 9th inning. Cardinals get 3 walks, 2 runs, and an Atlanta error. Last call for the Braves. not played well tonight in any facet of the game. That's why it's 12-2 Cardinals. And here is tonight's Toyota key play.
Drew Stubbs lost the ball in the twilight, and Nick Markakis didn't realize he was struggling to find it. So Nick tried to rally and catch it, got a glove on it. They charged him with a 3-base error.
So the Braves once again have to try to muster something here in the 9th inning against Seth Maness. Braves have 1 hit since the start of the 4th inning tonight. And they have 3 total base runners in that stretch. Carlos Martinez in line to win it. Julio Teheran on the hook for the loss, barring a gigantic 9th inning comeback. AJ 0 for 3, hit into a double play tonight and fouled away for a strike, even count.
Yeah, hopefully they can give him a good finish here, give him something to build on for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, Williams Perez first start of the season.
Maness was an Iron Man for the Cardinals last year. Back-to-back seasons of 70 or more appearances out of the St. Louis bullpen. That might have caught up with him. He picked up almost a run and a half on his ERA from 2014 to 2015. And a bouncing ball to first. That'll be easy. And there's the first out of the 9th. Braves fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Braves wherever you go. Fox Sports Go is a great app.
Williams Perez against Adam Wainwright tomorrow afternoon. Be a lot of folks down in the St. Simons area watching Adam Wainwright pitch tomorrow. And a former Braves draft choice.
Maness kind of throwing darts out there, huh?
Wainwright was one that got away.
Yeah,
I would say so.
That was the J.D. Drew and Eli Marrero deal. There's another bouncing ball to first. And that one's kicked. And I know this game is going to be shown on the replay later on tonight. If folks are watching on the satellite on the West Coast, you might want to blindfold your kids if this game is on, because both clubs have not had exactly the greatest night.
3 errors apiece between the teams, and a couple of plays that could have added to that. I know Cade's at home. Hopefully Kim already put him to bed, and
I'm not sure. I think he's up.
Do they have a game tomorrow?
No, they don't. You know, I think we just. I was hoping that I'd bring us a little better luck tonight. This isn't exactly how I drew up my first gig up here.
Will you come back?
You may not want me back after this game. This is the kind of.
Oh yeah, we do.
This is the kind of stuff I'm bringing up here.
Yeah, we do.
1 ball, 1 strike for Drew Stubbs. Drew's 0 for 3 tonight. And now 1 and 2. Royals won tonight, beat Minnesota 7-0. I wonder if Chris Medlin started that game. Nope, it was Ian Kennedy. And Stubbs is out on strikes. And the final hope for Atlanta will be Jace Peterson. Don't forget, stay tuned for Braves Live after the game, presented by Xfinity. We'll hear from the clubhouse, skipper Freddie Gonzalez and the players. It will be a subdued clubhouse after this one. Tonight, 12-2 Cardinals lead. Houston won 6-4 over Milwaukee. Marlins and Nationals postponed, cold weather. Cubs 4, Arizona 2 in the 9th. Zach Greinke started that game for the D-backs. Yankees won in Detroit 8-4. White Sox beat Cleveland 7-3. Tampa Bay and Baltimore postponed, cold weather. Rangers over the Angels 2-1 in the 5th. Oakland 2-1 in Seattle. That game also in the 5th at Safeco Field.
You know what? The Minnesota Twins are going to have a good ball club this year. And they've started 0-5.
In the air to center. Hazel Baker is there. And the Cardinals have beaten the Braves tonight. Final score, St. Louis 12, Atlanta 2. Martinez beats Tehran. The Braves hope to salvage 1 out of 3. They fall to 0-4 on the year. The Cardinals now 2-3 for the season. And they're staring at Adam Wainwright tomorrow afternoon. We'll wrap it up for you for Turner Field right after this.